Well, there's a love-hate relationship that I have with Philadelphia, and I want all the bad things in life for Philly sports fans and nobody else. And it's just, that's the kind of town that Philadelphia is. I don't wish them well when it comes to their sports fandom.
Yeah.
And that's why I always made sure that if my dad went to a game in Philadelphia, I had one of my two brothers there backing him up, because he was always going to wear my jersey, and fans were always going to razz him, and sometimes fans would even cross the line.
But see, that's why I do wish them well. Not because of your family situation, obviously, not the person of it. But that place has so much personality, and sports really matter there. Like everywhere I was at the Sixers game, no one is playing. It's a Saturday afternoon. The place is packed, and they're really rowdy. Everywhere you go, people are wearing Eagles gear. They love their teams. And whether or not it comes off in an aggressive way, I want to go somewhere with personality and where it matters.
But here's the thing. They love their teams, but they're also not delusional. Like, they're the first ones to get after their teams if the Eagles or the Sixers or the Flyers or the Phillies, they do something that's stupid, that's moronic, that's boneheaded.
It's like
they're
family.
the first ones to do it. Now, if you get on them too, then all of a sudden they'll turn on you.
Correct.
Because you're not one of them. But that's the thing that I appreciate about them, is that their passion does not get in the way of their ability to be objective in what they're seeing.
Kind of rude you didn't invite me and Cam, honestly.
You should come. I didn't think you'd want to go to...
It already happened.
But I want to go again because I want to go to a Phillies game. But I did get to go to Independence Hall and see history. I was in the room where it happened, where the Declaration of Independence was signed. And yes, I got a souvenir.
Hello.
I got a feather pen. I'm very excited.
You're going to use that?
Yes, it comes with a little ink vial that you use.
Nice.
You're right.
Vial. I don't think so. We're at Sportsmanlike.
During Lowe's Pro Savings Days, the job works in your favor. My Lowe's Pro Rewards members buy more and save more on materials they rely on every day. Get up to 25% off select molding when you spend $1,000 or more, and up to 25% off Pergo Evercraft laminate flooring. Put Pro Savings Days to work for you. Members get more at Lowe's. Valid through 3/27. Selection varies by location. While supplies last. Loyalty program subject to terms and conditions. Visit the Pro Desk or Lowe's.com/terms for more details. Subject to change.
If you love to travel, Capital One has a rewards credit card that's perfect for you. With the Capital One Venture X card, you earn unlimited double miles on everything you buy. Plus, you get premium benefits at a collection of luxury hotels when you book on Capital One Travel. And with Venture X, you get access to over 1,000 airport lounges worldwide. Open up a world of travel possibilities with the Capital One Venture X card. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. Lounge access is subject to change. See CapitalOne.com for details.
Tournament time is here, and so is your shot at $5,000. Head to DenverSports.com/bracket to enter our 5K Bracket Challenge, presented by Bryant, Colorado, and Xfinity. Think you can pick the perfect bracket? Prove it, but don't wait. Entries close before tip-off on March 19th. That's DenverSports.com/bracket. Denver Sports 104.3. The Fan.
Are your investments in the right accounts? What's best, traditional or Roth? Are you receiving all available tax deductions? Are you paying as little in tax as you can? These are all questions you can't afford to get wrong. Hi, I'm Jeff Jr., founder of Trajan Wealth, and in many cases, it's not what you make, but it's what you keep that makes the real difference. Trajan Wealth and Trajan Tax work closely together exclusively. No more guessing about whether you should do a Roth conversion, or if maxing out your 401k is really the best option. Our nationally recognized fiduciary advisors and CPA team work in tandem to make sure your tax strategy works with your investment strategy. We'll even do your tax preparation. One team, one strategy. Isn't it time for a second opinion? Call Trajan today, 720-204-8100. That's 720-204-8100.
Trajan Wealth, an SEC registered investment advisor. Additional services through Trajan Estate and Trajan Tax. Additional disclosures and accreditation at TrajanWealth.com.
This St. Patrick's Day weekend, let's keep our community safe from drunk driving. If you celebrate a little too much, don't rely on the luck of the Irish. Use a rideshare or designated driver. From your friends at Denver Sports, 104.3 The Fan, and the Wilhite Law Firm Injury Lawyers.
More than 4 million adults in the United States have glaucoma.
People don't realize that glaucoma is one of the leading causes of blindness.
Don't miss life's most beautiful moments.
Schedule an eye exam today.
Learn how to protect your sight at stopglaucoma.org.
Febreze. New Febreze Air Mist has 50% more odor fighters and up to 30% more fragrance than the old formula. So now you can take on 100% more stinky odors, like sweaty gym bags, greasy cooking smells, and the after effects of the dog rolling around in something. Just spray, and New Febreze Air instantly restores just clean freshness. Smell you later, odor. Green, happy Febreze, la 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 la.
Ever notice how your floors still look dirty, even after you mop?
Yeah, what's up with that?
Swiffer Power Mop gives you a deeper clean you can actually see.
I'm listening.
Unlike string mops, Swiffer Power Mop absorbs more dirt and locks it away, even in those hard-to-reach spots.
Like behind the toilet?
Exactly. The new micro scrubbers deliver thousands of tiny deep cleaning actions, so your floors look, smell, and feel clean.
Bye-bye, dirty floors. Hello, Swiffer Power Mop.
Try the Swiffer Power Mop. Love it or your money back.
Having trouble sleeping? Visit Mattress Firm during the Upgrade Your Sleep sale. Their sleep experts will help find your perfect bed. They make sleep easy.
KKFN and KKFN HD1 Longmont, Denver. You're listening to Denver Sports 104.3. The Fan.
Denver Sports Snapshot.
Tonight on 104.3 HD3, DU Lacrosse faces Syracuse with pregame starting at 5:30.
Presented by Gebhardt BMW, your trusted family dealer since 1975.
Chest puffing.
I'm tougher than Mark.
Occasional pettiness.
Your disappointment makes me happy.
And fearless leadership.
30 seconds left. Just get us in field goal range. Come on, kid, now. Execute.
It's Stokley and Evans with Mark Schlereth on Denver Sports 104.3 The Fan.
All right, good morning. Welcome to it. Stokley and Evans with Mark Schlereth. Happy Monday morning to all you 6 a.m. listeners out there. Richie Carney sitting in for Mike Evans alongside the undisputed, unchallenged, unquestioned hardest working man in Denver radio, Mark Schlereth. Good morning, Mark.
Good morning, Richie. How are you, buddy?
I'm doing
Man,
well.
what a great weekend I had. What a great weekend. So I haven't been here for the snow, and my birthday was in January. And I don't know, I'm a big Ego battery-operated power tools.
Yes.
Yeah, you've seen those, right?
Yes, I have.
So I have a whole collection. Like I am like my brother-in-law bought me a lawnmower years ago for the heck of it, I guess. Father's Day, I think. And I got hooked and I started buying all their equipment because, I love to do yard work and it's really designed like somebody, whoever engineered it and designed it actually has done yard work. Like it works. It just works perfectly well. So my wife got me one of these snow shovels, and I haven't been able to use it. I've never used. She got it. It was my birthday was in January. I've never used it because the one time it snowed, I was in Tampa, visiting the grandkids.
Okay.
And so yesterday morning, I was like a kid on Christmas. Yesterday morning, I was like, "Oh my gosh, it snowed!"
Finally,
yeah. And so I got the power shovel out there, the Ego, snow little thrower, and that damn thing shoots snow like 25 feet in the air. And I did the deck like lickety split. It was awesome.
Yeah.
Thing was a hoss. And it just made me happy all day long. I was like, this is awesome. And then I went back over it again because it kept snowing in the morning. I did it, me, I'm up fairly early. So I did it early and then I did it again. And it was made my day. The simple things in life that make your day. That was it for me.
It is the small things in life.
Yeah.
Now, I got to give you credit because most people during what has been, in my opinion, easily the most obscure, warm, irregular winter in at least recent history here in Colorado. Most people probably could have seen that handful of inches of snow on their driveway, on their decks, on their patio, and said, you know what? It's going to be 70 degrees in a day and a half or so.
Right.
I'll just let this thing melt off naturally, which is what I did, but not you, Mark Schlereth.
No.
And that's what sets you apart from the common man.
Right. Well, I mean, like I said, I've been sitting around since January waiting to use this damn thing. And so anyhow, I got to use it yesterday. And it was fun, and I love it. And
Good for you, bud.
yeah, and so anyhow, made my day, started my day off great.
Yeah, man. Listen, what a weekend.
Which I needed, by the way, after watching that Nuggets game on Saturday night.
Yeah, we're gonna get into that. Plenty of headlines here locally, good and bad. Obviously, the Nuggets losing in overtime on a last-second shot by Luka Doncic. Frustrating third act to what had been two pretty exciting back-to-back games between the Houston Rockets, who they blew the doors off, and San Antonio, who they were getting their doors blown off by and then clawed their way back to end up winning there. So we will get into that. The Avalanche had a fun game on Friday. They'll get back into it tonight, I believe, against the Senators, I think. Right, Ty? Ottawa Senators tonight for the Avs?
No, it's the Pens.
Pens. There we go.
That was close.
Right. They're all the same to me. But outside of that, we had Selection Sunday yesterday. CSU women making the tournament, drawing my Michigan State Spartans. A little 5-12 matchup.
Do you follow Michigan State women's basketball?
I don't.
No,
I don't.
okay.
Now, when I was in school there as a journalist, I did, and they had some players go to the WNBA. It was cool. But no, I would be lying if I said I watched more than 0.5 seconds of Michigan State women's basketball. I'm excited for them nonetheless, and I think it's cool that we have a local team represented. Obviously, the men lost out in the Mountain West tournament, couldn't get anything done there. CU, kind of same situation. How about DU, though, on our airwaves here at 104.3 The Fan, taking down Western Michigan 2-1 to advance to their NCHC final game, their conference final, and it'll be at home. It'll be at home for the first time since the 60s, I believe, that they'll get to play for a championship at home. You have the call. All right, take a listen. Here's what it sounded like.
Reeder guides it over to Lorenz. Reeder with the puck again. Banks it off the boards. Jamison with it. Left point. Reeder sideboards. Takes a shot. Bouncing puck. Dribbles in. Pioneers score! The Pioneers score! And the Pioneers have defeated Western Michigan. They are going to the NCHC Finals. Pioneers win.
You ever been to a college hockey game, Mark?
I don't believe that I have. I'm trying to think. We didn't have it when I was at Idaho. I don't believe that I've ever been to a college hockey game. Now, I've obviously been to the Avs and, been to a bunch of.
I mean, you're friends with Gary Bettman. Of course you've been to NHL games.
But we had a minor league team when I was growing up in Alaska called the Anchorage Aces.
Minor league and college hockey, I feel like, can be kind of similar. And I just have to say that I was late to the party of it, but to give a little bit of love to our brethren over at the University of Denver, you know how many national championships DU hockey has won?
I'm going to say 6.
10.
10.
They've won 10. They're going for 11. They're now in their conference final going for 11. It's more than any other college hockey program, to my knowledge, in the country.
There was a day when the Anchorage Seawolves were a pretty good college hockey.
Seawolves.
Yeah, the Anchorage Seawolves.
Is that a
were
cool
pretty
name
good.
for a seal? Is that?
Yeah, a sea wolf, like a wolf that hangs out in the sea. I don't know, but no, I don't think I've ever been to a college hockey game.
It is a really, really cool environment, and one that we get to have, right down the road. So cool, exciting things for them, and frankly, Mark, I think we're all looking for cool, exciting things because the Denver Broncos, who are in a downward lull for them, not for anybody else in the NFL, but in a downward lull excitement-wise during their offseason as they continue doing nothing in free agency outside of kind of running it back. So I feel like we're all naturally looking around for fun and exciting things. And we got a little bit of that with the World Baseball Classic last night. Did you get a chance to catch any of that?
I did not. Last night, what did I do last night? Well, so I was watching my son's team.
Mm-hmm.
So, I have the ESPN Plus, so I get to watch all his games.
Mm-hmm.
And so they were on and off with rain delays. So then I was like, during the rain delays, I started looking at college tape because, we're not participating in free agency.
Yes,
here
by choice.
By choice, right? So we're just, running it back with the players that we already have. And which is, I like I've explained it, and I'm like, listen, that's what they choose to do. That's what they choose to do, and it lacks some excitement and whatnot. But I've started really digging into the draft.
Mm-hmm.
So, I've looked at now, I think 4 tight ends where I've watched like 3 games of each guy. Draftable guys that are going to be drafted either in the first round or second or third round. And so now I watched a couple of running backs, and so anyhow.
Gazoon tight. Double up.
So anyhow, so that's what I ended up doing last night, and I ended up watching film until like 8 something last night, and then I go upstairs and my wife is watching The Lincoln Lawyer,
the TV show,
the Netflix series or what, and we started. I was up till like 10:30 last night.
Sometimes you can't stop.
It's really good. It was like really good, and I felt like I just slid right in the middle of it and kind of got caught up. So that's what I was watching last night. So I did not watch the World's Baseball Classic. I watched film and then some Lincoln Lawyer. It
was a good game, man. It was exciting. That lineup for the Dominican Republic. It's like you read it on paper and you're like, this should be illegal. There's no way that this many talented players should be on one team. But the one player they didn't have was Paul Skeens. And you want to talk about some dudes just have life by the balls. How good is it to be Paul freaking Skeens, man? 23 years old, pitching phenom. He started in the All-Star game in his rookie year. His, Dayton Livy done, which there's worse things in life. I mean, I just kind of look at that and it's like, God smiles on some people, maybe more than others.
Right. When my son was coaching at Western Michigan, we opened up at LSU, and Paul Skeens threw Friday night. He threw the Friday night game when he was in college before he was the first overall pick. And he was like, they pulled him at the end of 6. I think he pitched through 6, and so they didn't pull him. I mean, he was just done after 6. But his last pitch was 101, 6 in college. Like, I mean, you want to talk about just a dominating. Like, it was just like, all right, well, hopefully maybe we can get to their bullpen.
Exactly, right? Can we survive a few innings?
Yeah, we're not going to get a hit off this guy, but hopefully maybe we can get to their bullpen.
All right, well, plenty to get into on a pretty action-packed sports weekend here locally and around the country. In the meantime, we mentioned March Madness. Selection Sunday was yesterday, which means that tournament time is here, and so is your shot at $5,000. Head to DenverSports.com/bracket to enter our 5K bracket challenge, presented by Bryant, Colorado, and Xfinity. You think you can pick the perfect bracket? Prove it. But don't wait. Entries close before tip-off on March 19th. That's DenverSports.com/bracket. All right, Mark alluded to it earlier. The boring Broncos continue their march into free agency, sitting on their hands, and one specific playmaker that many thought could make a difference is now off the board. So where could they go if they decided to? We'll get there next.
Names that rhyme, takes that hit different. Shapiro and Piro is happy hour sports talk built for the modern fan. Local stories, hidden gems, and the mustache monologues you never knew you needed. Weekdays at 3 p.m. on the Denver Sports 104.3 The Fan YouTube channel. Subscribe now at Denver Sports 104.3 and get in on the action. Denver Sports 104.3 The Fan.
Hanging out recently with my guy Jeff from Rocky Mountain Men's Clinic at a Avs game recently. Mostly just hung out. We watched hockey, but we did talk a little business. Had to talk a little business with Jeff. And mainly I want to know what kind of feedback he gets from men who come to Rocky Mountain Men's Clinic to get their erectile dysfunction treated. And Jeff said the most common answer is, why did I wait so long to do this? Not surprised. Most men will wait a year or more, even though they know that something isn't right. Doesn't need to be that way. ED is a medical condition. Like many medical conditions, can be treated. Rocky Mountain Men's Clinic has treatments with success rates well over 90%. They've successfully treated thousands of men for over a decade now. And if ED is affecting you, it's time to get back to the sex, intimacy, and love that bring you closer together. Schedule a consult with Rocky Mountain Men's Clinic. Initial cost is just $99. You'll get a TN PSA test, and if medically advised, a test dose. And if that test dose does not work, your office visit is free. 5 locations to better serve you, including Fort Collins, Colorado Springs, and a new and improved office in The Rock. Call 720-440-7900 and at RockyMountainMen'sClinic.com.
Why'd I go to the doctor? Working on the farm, my heart kept skipping a beat. I didn't think much of it, but my daughters made me get checked out. Turns out I have atrial fibrillation, which increases the risk of stroke about 5 times.
Symptoms like irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain, shortness of breath, fatigue, or lightheadedness can come and go. But if it's AFib, the risk of stroke remains. If you have symptoms, contact a doctor.
I'm so glad I did.
Visit NoTimeToWait.com. Sponsored by Bristol-Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
Progressive knows it ain't easy navigating the open plains of home insurance, but there is one man who can help tame that wild herd of options. The Home Quote Explorer.
Note, Progressive's Home Quote Explorer is not a real person, but an online tool that lets you compare home insurance.
He's the type of fella who helps you decide on the right insurance, even if it ain't with him.
Again, not a person, just an online tool that helps you find great home coverage.
A real pioneer.
Okay, fine. Just do the thing. Yeah! Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and third-party insurers. Comparison rates not available in all states or situations.
Confidence is knowing you're ready to handle whatever comes your way. That's what it feels like to take on your workday with Cintas. They make sure your AEDs are up to date, your fire extinguishers are tested and inspected, your floor mats are cleaned and delivered, and your workwear looks good, feels good, and is freshly laundered with the Cintas Apparel Plus program. So are you ready to take on today? Visit Cintas.com and get ready for the workday.
I know that hiring can be challenging. You need someone to match your role perfectly. Well, now you can meet them fast on ZipRecruiter.
Build your team, build it sooner. Meet your match on ZipRecruiter.
Just head to ZipRecruiter.com/free right now to try it for free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Meet your match on ZipRecruiter. Try it free.
So, you're ready to propose, huh?
Yeah, man. She's definitely the one.
What are we thinking about the ring? I got my wife's at Hellsberg. I couldn't recommend a better jeweler.
I could use some help with that.
Man, go to Hellsberg. I had no idea how many details you need to consider. Did you know you can get a natural or lab-grown diamond? I didn't. Figure out what she wants. Trust me, they'll make it happen.
Start your story with Hellsberg. Shop in store or at hellsberg.com.
Hey, Brandon Stokley here. Winter might be hanging on, but you know Colorado, warm one day, freezing the next. And trust me, summer is coming in hot. Beat the rush with an early bird air conditioner tune-up and inspection for only $49 from Rocks Heating and Air. They'll inspect your system and keep you cool when everyone else is scrambling. Call ROX Rocks Heating and Air today and schedule your tune-up before the end of March. Now play that jingle.
HVAC service, installation, repair. ROX Rocks Heating and Air.
303 Loft 4040. Want to share one of the best compliments we've ever received. Had a listener call in to 303 Loft 4040. His name was Peter. His wife was viciously attacked in a dog bite incident. So we set up a time to have him come in, and I met with him at length while his wife was recovering at the hospital. A couple days later, my wife recognized the number. She had spoken to Peter before. So when the phone call came in, she said, Peter! It was actually Peter's wife. She said, how did you know? She said, well, we love our clients. She was just surprised that we recognized the number. We had her come in, we met with her, and she says, you know, I feel like we're your only clients. It's really awesome. We're not your only clients, are we? No, they're not our only clients, but what a compliment that our clients feel valued and that we treat them with such a high level of service. If you ever need us, that's the type of service you will get too. It's Jacob's Law, 303 Law 4040. That's 303 Law 4040. Save that number in your phone. You never know when you're going to need it.
It's time to upgrade your arsenal with the Shields Field and Range Sale Event. Save on your favorite brands in ammo, firearms, optics, and more. You'll have to hurry, though. This sale only runs through March 22nd. Plus, with your Shields Visa, you'll earn an extra 10 points for every dollar spent on Vortex products at Shields, which means you'll earn even more My Rewards gift cards. Visit Shields or Shields.com and save now through March 22nd.
Join Denver Sports 104.3 The Fan and Pepsi at King Soopers, 15051 East 104th Avenue in Commerce City, Tuesday, March 17th from 3 to 5 p.m. Stop by for your chance to win tickets to Tuesday night's Nuggets game and sample Gatorade's low sugar line. Don't miss it.
IRS notices piling up already this year? Now's the best time to take control before penalties snowball. Advanced Tax Solutions has helped thousands resolve IRS problems fast. Get ahead of an IRS problem by talking to the team I trust at Advanced Tax Solutions now.
Follow us on YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok at Denver Sports 1043 to stay up to date on all your local teams. Denver Sports 1043. The Fan. Listener appreciation.
Our RamosLaw.com texters always answer the bell.
Mentorship.
You can't be that guy. Don't be that guy.
Yeah. And words of wisdom.
Don't let my confidence offend your insecurity.
It's Stokley and Evans with Mark Schlereth on Denver Sports 1043 The Fan.
On the RamosLaw.com text line, 303-713-1043 from the 1748. Jeez, what germs did Brandon Stokley pass off? Are he and Mike still alive? Are we sure? Yeah, the Summer of Evans allegations might be coming back, even though we're only in. We're not even officially in spring, right?
No.
We're in meteorological spring, but not actual calendar.
You are
actually.
technically correct.
Yes.
The best kind of correct.
I did learn that.
I do believe that spring happens like March 20th or something like that.
I believe so. I was the text
So-
line let me know that in full force.
Right, we're about 4 days out from actual
Yeah.
spring, which is we'll probably get our actual winter. Although this whole week I saw the
80s.
weather; it's supposed to be in the mid 80s, could touch 90. It said.
Yeah, I was going to say
hot.
Bianchi said a handful of times we will have the opportunity to touch 90, which would break records all across the state for this time of year. So it's been a weird year, but the spring of Evans may be leading into a like gale force, perfect storm type summer of Evans, where he just continues to miss time. Brandon Stokley, on the other hand, is a little bit different. He's taking some family time. He's doing some fun stuff. But he did send us a message. Do we have a message from the Stokley household? There it is. There it is. So at least we know Cody's doing fine. And
Yeah.
AI Ty, I'm not going to put business in the street, but I have to a little bit with you because I've sat in on this show for a handful of days consecutive now, going back to last week, and I get berated on the text line to queue up more opportunities for the Cody bark. And I feel like Thursday and Friday, you left me hanging a good amount of times. I had to keep working the word dog in there. I'm like, man, the Avalanche they have that dog in them this year, or this or that.
Yeah.
Or like, hey, he was barking. He was out there barking. And I'm
Right.
like looking at Ty like, please. And he wouldn't do it. And everyone on the text line's like, can you just one time?
Listen, let me tell you something I've
So I'm
learned
calling
here.
you out a little bit. I think we need at least one Cody bark per hour, Ty.
I'm going to let you know right now, AI Ty is in control, and he will do what he wants to do.
That
That's
is
one
true.
thing I have learned.
I was going to say, I've heard him.
Yeah, yes, he will do exactly what he wants to do.
I am
above the law.
I feel like I just set myself up to have one I got the power drop held on me
Yes.
at some point today.
You will.
Cringe.
All right, Mark. The Denver Broncos have continued to do nothing in free agency, and it's confusing. It's interesting. It's disappointing. It's a whole mixed bag of emotions, depending on how positive or rational you want to be about it. Because this is a team that won 14 games last year, was the number one team in the AFC, and probably is playing in a Super Bowl if Bo Nix doesn't break his ankle in overtime or fracture. I don't want to get any. Listen,
Right.
I don't want to get any. It was
You don't want
he
Bo
injured
to-
his ankle.
Right.
No predisposition or anything like
Right.
that. But
You don't want Bo to call a press conference
Exactly.
and say some guy on the
fitting
radio
your
said,
narrative.
he'll go after you.
Exactly. That being said, if there was a time or a vibe around the team where you just thought, hey, we're right there, we just need to make some final pieces to shore up some holes and push. This is it, and yet they haven't done it. And that was even more evident, and we're reminded of it again over the weekend as Dallas Goedert, the talented tight end for the Philadelphia Eagles, who had his his signing date or his action date pushed back. So people are thinking, hey, I don't know, maybe they're working on something, maybe they just need a little more time. He ends up staying in Philly, and that's another talented skill position player off the market for the Broncos.
Yeah, and it certainly looks like the Broncos have just decided, like, we're not interested in your free agents. We're not interested in bringing anybody else in here, and we're going to home grow this thing. We've got our guys. We feel very confident about our guys. We feel like we were going to be, representing the AFC in the Super Bowl, and, Bo breaks his ankle, and the rest is history. But, it would have been nice to see the Broncos get involved in free agency, really in two spots. I could have seen three spots. I thought they probably could have signed a backup offensive lineman. And I thought that they should have signed a running back. They did sign J.K. Dobbins, but a running back that has had a history of being able to answer the bell 17 straight weeks, and a tight end that has duality, versatility, a guy that can run block, a guy that can pass block, a guy that can do all those things. So that's kind of how I looked at it. I think that's how Denver Broncos country looked at it. And you hear it around all the time as I'm traveling around and, grocery store or at Starbucks or wherever I happen to be. I was down at the RV show down at the convention center this weekend. was amazing. But I was down there, and a lot of people asking me about just about the lack of participation in free agency, and it does have people concerned. There's no question about it.
So what would you say, Mark, to the people on our YouTube chat at DenverSports 1043 on YouTube, and I'm seeing it even a little bit on the RamosLaw.com text line, that are like, why would we go out and sign a Dallas Goedert when Bo Nix couldn't get the ball to Evan Ingram last year? Why would that be any different? Or we didn't even utilize our skill position players that we have to the fullest degree. Right. Is there credence to that?
I think there is, and I think this is one of the interesting things. I think you look at how an offense grows over the course of 3 years. And, Mike Shanahan used to say it all the time that you probably don't really understand the offense in its entirety until year 3 as a quarterback.
Why is that?
It's because you haven't run all your plays in all the situations. So, you get into the red zone and you're like, hey, we're going to run this play. Well, I've never run it against this defense or that defense. And so it takes time. When you're talking about 1,100 plays in a season, essentially, you start like, hey, man, coming off the end zone, coming, in between the 30s. Once you cross the 50, a lot of teams like to take a shot play once you cross the 50. And you start thinking about all the different scenarios and all the different play calls you can have, and then all the different defenses. So you may have crossed and you may have gotten into the red zone, and you may have never you may have run a play 6 times but never gotten a certain coverage against it. And so by the time you hit, year 3, going into year 3, you should have, you should be like in a situation where I've seen this at least once or twice. And so that's why an offense takes time to kind of percolate and everybody kind of get on the same page.
Percolate. I like that. Well, let us know, Broncos country, how are you feeling on the RamosLaw.com text line 303-713-1043 on our YouTube stream. Check us out at DenverSports 1043. Are we missing something? Is there a domino left to fall? Something we want to get into a little bit later because it's still hanging out there. The Broncos restructured contracts for Quinn Miners and Jonathan Cooper to free up like $20 million. And I don't think personally all of that is related to signing a draft class. So is there another move out there that we are just kind of like patiently or impatiently waiting for? Or are we just going to have to start rationalizing the fact that Sean Payton, George Payton, who have told us at various points during their tenure together that they think they're better than everybody else when it comes to combine evaluations, and I would assume by extension off-season preparation and approach, that they think this team is good enough to do what they did again last year, even if it means doing it the same way. All right, we'll get back into the Broncos here in a little bit, but in the meantime, the Nuggets did lose a tough one to the Los Angeles Lakers over the weekend, and it sets up a pretty interesting dynamic within the Western Conference that I want to get into coming up next.
Stream Stokley and Evans with Mark Schlereth, Dover and Cecil, The Drive, and all your favorite shows on the Denver Sports 1043 The Fan app. Powered by Advanced Tax Solutions. Denver Sports 1043 The Fan.
If you're in a neighborhood with houses built in the 80s, 90s, even 2000s, so-called custom homes, maybe the builder spent good money on windows. More than likely, they were provided by the lowest bidder. Bluebird is a local company serving Colorado since 2006, featuring over 40 years of experience. Get to know Bluebird Windows with this special offer. Buy one window, get another 50% off through March 31st. And then mention my name and get an additional 5% off. Call 303-810-2888 and at gobluebirdco.com. Bluebird Windows, where your window replacement experience is second to none.
You can't always predict what's next, but you can be ready for it in a BMW SUV. The performance-driven X1 comes built for every journey, while the X3's sporty design and innovative technology keep your drive connected. The X5 blends performance with a commanding presence, or make it even bigger with 3 rows of luxurious seating in the X7. For every road, there's an X built to drive it. BMW, the ultimate driving machine.
Gebhardt BMW, your trusted family dealer since 1975.
Is your money doing everything it can for you? Like automatically pushing more of your money to savings every day?
I don't think so.
Then switch to Huntington Bank. And let's get more from money. Huntington Bank. Welcome. Eligibility requirements apply. Some features may require enrollment.
Hi there, I'm Kim Rudell, owner of Wills and Wellness Estate Planning. If you've been putting off doing your estate plan, it's time to stop pushing your luck. It's never too late to get your estate plan in place. No more excuses. Our team makes the process and experience positive, straightforward, and even fun. Come see us and let us help you make a plan to secure your future and the future of your loved ones. Find us at willsandwellness.com or give us a call at 720-266-8190.
Hi, I'm Terrell Davis, two-time world champion and Pro Football Hall of Famer. There is nothing more important than your health.
Score big, save up to 50% off on select premium equipment. Visit one of Fitness Gallery's 7 convenient locations from Colorado Springs to Fort Collins.
One iced coffee?
$1, please.
For real? No way. One iced coffee?
$1, please.
For real? No way. What a deal.
Your new morning groove. Iced coffee from McDonald's, any size for just $1 until 11 a.m. Price and participation may vary. Cannot be combined with any other offer. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
Imagine all that could happen in 5 years. Jobs change, kids grow, new memes will come out. But what if you had reliable, intelligent Wi-Fi and a price that didn't change for 5 years? Thanks to Xfinity 5-year price guarantee, you don't have to worry about that part of your future. You're guaranteed 5 years of Wi-Fi that boosts speeds to your devices that need them the most. That finds and fixes any issue before you even notice them. It's like super intelligent Wi-Fi that keeps you protected from online threats. You get incredible gaming speeds on multiple devices and no battling for bandwidth. For the next 5 years, your devices will be working in perfect harmony, and you get our best equipment with no annual contracts, no fees, no strings. So even though your kids will grow up, your internet is going to stay sharp, reliable, and most importantly, the price will stay put. Plus, get online in minutes with the same-day Wi-Fi. All with Xfinity 5-year price guarantee. Lock in your price, unlock the possibilities. Xfinity, imagine that. Restrictions apply, select plans only.
So my friends over at Pure Talk have been sending me customer feedback from consumeraffairs.com, where thousands of people rate and review the top wireless providers. Here, for instance, is a nice note from James in Raleigh, North Carolina, who writes, quote, "After hearing Mike Rowe's ad, we made the switch to Pure Talk, and we couldn't be happier. We went from spending $1,200 a year with T-Mobile to $420 with Pure Talk. Thanks, Mike. Switch today! Exclamation point. Pure Talk is saving James $820 a year. And because he literally wrote the words switch today in capital letters with an exclamation point, I'm going to go ahead and dedicate this commercial to him. So folks, take it from James in Raleigh, North Carolina. Pure Talk can give you unlimited talk, text, and plenty of data for just $25 a month on the same 5G service the big guys are overcharging you for. Just dial pound 250, say Mike Rowe. You'll also save 50% off your first month. That's pound 250 to save an additional 50%. Thanks, James.
When water, fire, or mold turn your home upside down, don't panic.
Bring Able to the table.
Able Restoration responds fast, secures your property, and handles everything from mitigation to full rebuild. One call, one team, start to finish. They work with your insurance, communicate clearly, and treat your home like it's their own. Because when it's time to protect what matters most, don't just hire anyone.
Bring Able to the table.
Call 303-590-5600.
When production shifts, your workforce has to keep up. Express Employment Professionals is your best resource for hiring. Find your local team at expresspros.com and hire differently.
Denver Sports Snapshot.
Tonight on 104.3 HD3, DU Lacrosse faces Syracuse with pregame starting at 5:30.
Presented by Gebhardt BMW, your trusted family dealer since 1975.
Give me fuel, give me fire, give me that which I desire. Bold takes.
I would put my fajitas up against any Mexican restaurant.
Active listening.
You weren't listening to a word I just said.
Plus, a little number crunching.
What's 12 minus 1? 12 minus 11. 1. This is why math confuses me.
It's Stokley and Evans with Mark Schlereth on Denver Sports 104.3. The Fan.
The Denver Nuggets had a lot of momentum going into Saturday's game against the Lakers. They had blown the doors off the Houston Rockets. They had a miraculous 20-point deficit comeback win over the Wembanyama-less San Antonio Spurs. And a lot was kind of focused on this Lakers game because of how log-jammed things are in the middle of the Western Conference. At the time, the difference between the 3 seed and virtually the play-in was only like a game and a half or 2 games. So this was a big one, especially considering how the games against the Lakers had gone earlier in the year. And unfortunately, despite the fact that, in my opinion, the Nuggets had plenty of opportunities to win, they just don't execute down the stretch. And you get an Austin Reeves intentional miss on a free throw to tie the game, and then Luka Doncic calling game over Spencer Jones in overtime. Mark, was it a letdown for you given how the 2 previous games had gone?
Yes. Yeah, it was. And it was a frustrating game for me because I always put things into perspective from the standpoint of, the game that you played, how you attack things, how you win games, and all that stuff. And at one point in the first half, I was getting so irritated with all the missed threes that were happening. I was like, quit shooting threes. And, of course, Sapalicious, our guy, Jake Shapiro, tweets me and says, hey, they're the number 1, percentage three-point shooting team in basketball. And I'm like, yeah, well, they're not falling, and I'm getting pissed, right? And so there's part of me that always thinks this way, like, all right, so if my shot isn't falling, like if I'm attacking a guy in pass protection, right, and I say, hey, man, I'm going to upkick this guy, I'm going to take it to him, I'm going to beat him on the line of scrimmage, and he keeps beating me, then you know what I do?
Something different.
Change it up. I'm like, well, that plan didn't work. It's not going down. And and I think there's a strange kind of a correlation here. Yeah, they're number 1 3-point shooting team percentage wise in basketball, but they also take less 3-pointers than anybody else in basketball. And so I'm like, hey man, you got the best big man in the game. If it's not happening for you, let's change it up. Let's find ourselves a different offensive rhythm and then go back to it a little bit later once we get into a rhythm. Like those things irritate me because to me, and I know that shooter's going to shoot and you'll eventually shoot your way back into it and all these different things that people say, but I don't know. I just maybe I'm 100% wrong, but man, it was driving me nuts. And then Murray, I get it when Murray is on, he is great. He was 1 for 14, and there was a point to me where I was just like, stop shooting the ball.
Yeah,
stop it. Like we got other dudes that can do it. Start being a facilitator. Start getting to the rim. Start going to the foul line. Do like take the game over that way if your shot's not falling. And Murray will take some shots, as you know, that are they're so off balanced and they're so they're bad attempts. But he knocks them down so often that you're like, so be it. That's great. Well, you're taking some bad attempts that aren't going down. Stop. And this is the maturity and the toughness that it takes mental toughness to be able to say, what I'm doing isn't working. Let me find something else to do. And I don't know, maybe that's on Adelman, maybe that's on the players, whatever the case may be, but it's time to quit screwing around. It's time to figure out how you're going to win games.
Yeah, I think to me, the 3-point shooting, they ended up going 33% overall. I think they were like 14 for 49 or something like that as a team. And that is something that I think, is it great? No. But is it something you can overcome? Probably. But you're not going to overcome it. 14 to 42, the Nuggets were from beyond the arc. You're not going to overcome it if what you said earlier is dragging you back down the other way. Jamal Murray going 1 for 7 from deep, 1 for 14 overall, finishing with just 5 points. That's not going to get you there. Because you look at the contributions elsewhere, and I think there's signs for encouragement. I mean, Jokic goes 24, 16, and 14, another casual triple-double for the Joker. You're getting 5 threes out of Aaron Gordon, 40% three-point shooting, 4 for 10 from Cam Johnson, who's had a rough season, but has really started to kind of uptick in the right direction in recent weeks. And then off the bench, you're getting 20 points from Tim Hardaway Jr. off the bench.
Right.
I know it's an overtime period, so there's a little extra time to accumulate stats. There were plenty of opportunities, despite the fact that maybe their shot wasn't falling, especially from deep during stretches of that game, where they should have salted this game away. And then you look at the way that it comes down at the end. You've got an intentionally missed free throw by Austin Reeves on a foul that shouldn't have happened, by the way, as the NBA put out their 2-minute report, their pool report, and basically admitted that Spencer Jones stripped Austin Reeves clean. A foul shouldn't have been called, in which case Reeves wouldn't have been, or at least immediately, had that opportunity with like 9 seconds left to tie the game. So it's just frustrating, and I do think even though we can point to certain players or certain moments that were there, this team just still at times struggles to execute, I think, in those clutch situations.
Yeah, it certainly does. I mean, there's a lot of other things like I look at Jamal Murray getting tackled by LeBron James and he fouls out on that particular play. Like, a scorer is going to score when Jamal, and I don't mean to beat up on Jamal, but when your shot's not going down, you got to find a way to get to the foul line. He had 3 foul attempts, 3 free throw attempts. Like you got to get to the 10, you got to get fouled and get yourself to the line so that you can score more than 5 points. And then on the Doncic play, I think they had a foul to give. They didn't take the foul. They let Doncic get the shot off, and it was an incredible shot. And it was good defense and all that stuff. But if you take the foul, then I think you've got to go side out, and throw the ball back in bounds. It's going to take more seconds off the clock. It's going to rush, potentially rush the shot. So there's a lot of little things that you look at, and it's the little things, it's the little tiny things that add up to wins and losses. When you do the little things right, like we've talked about, you're going to come away with a win in that game down in L.A. But when you do them incorrectly, you don't take care of those little things, that's what ends up costing you a game.
Well, the Western Conference is going to stay log jammed, and it's just going to be a matter of which end of the log the Nuggets end up falling when the postseason rolls around. It's probably not going to be 3 now that you lost the season series against the Lakers. They secure a 2-way tiebreaker. But could you fall down into that 6 or, heaven forbid, maybe not heaven forbid, depending on how you look at how you want the first round matchup. I know you, me, and Will talked about that, but there is a world where if they don't start snapping things together, we're talking about flirting with that play-in line down below that 6th seed in the postseason. We'll get back into the Nuggets here in a little bit. The Avalanche had the vibes rolling high on Friday against the Kraken, and then they made a change at Who's Between the Pipes, and suddenly against the Winnipeg Jets, things didn't seem as fun. Is it time to make a change of a more permanent sense with the goaltender of record for the Avs? That's next.
With the lack of external moves in free agency, are the Broncos telling us exactly what they think about their roster internally?
Whatever grade or level you had this Broncos offense at last year, do you honestly believe that they're going to make this huge, significant leap, and they missed out on that chance because they didn't sign Kenneth Walker or Travis Etienne or Tyler Algier or Rico Dowdle or any of these guys? You really believe that this is what's going to hold them back?
Denver Sports 104.3. The Fan.
I thought I had my retirement plan in pretty good shape. I really did. But then Trajan Wealth took a second look. And man, I'm glad they did. Stoke here, they found opportunities I didn't even know were there. Things I was missing. Things that could make a real difference down the road. Now, I've got a clearer path forward and way more peace of mind. And that's because Trajan Wealth is made up of fiduciaries. People who are legally required to put your needs first. That's the kind of teammate you want when it comes to your money. I trust them with my future, and that's not something I say lightly. If your current teammate is not being a team player, you don't got to accept that. Call my friends at Trajan Wealth today. They're going to come up with that game plan specifically designed for you, your goals, and your needs. Make sure you got the right strategy and the right team on your side. Give my friends at Trajan Wealth a call today. 720-204-8100. They have locations in Broomfield, Greenwood Village, and Loveland. You can find them online at TrajanWealth.com. That's TRAJAN Wealth.com. Trajan Wealth. Plan smarter. Dream bigger. Advisory services through Trajan Wealth, LLC, SEC registered investment advisor, client, paid advertisement, additional disclosures at TrajanWealth.com.
High five! Up top! Dave's company just got the 5-year price lock guarantee from Comcast Business. Yeah! It's 5 years of gig speed internet, advanced security, and a great rate that won't change. All from the company with 99.9% network reliability. Heck yeah! He hasn't given this many high fives since Deborah brought in her famous banana bread.
Yes!
The Comcast Business 5-year price lock guarantee. Powering 5 years of savings, powering possibilities.
And it's hurting, but I am not stopping.
Woo! For a limited time, now through March 29th, switch to Comcast Business to lock in your rate for 5 years and get a $500 prepaid card on a qualifying gig bundle. Or ask how to get started with 150 megabit internet and Security Edge for $59.99 a month for 12 months with a 2-year agreement. Don't wait. Call today. Restrictions apply. New customers only. 1-year contract required for guaranteed rate. Paperless billing and automatic payments with bank account required. 5-year pricing applies to monthly service charge, excluding taxes and fees.
I'm Rob Wilhite. If you've been in a car accident, you need experience that wins. For almost 50 years in Colorado, my firm has recovered over $1 billion for crash victims. Call 303-GOOD-LAW or visit willhitewins.com. That's willhitewins.com.
Hey, what's up? It's Zach here. And if you're looking for your new go-to spot in Centennial, the Basketball Social House is it. Award-winning food and drinks, an incredible weekend brunch, and a brand new sports bar entertainment space where you can catch every Colorado game. Even if you're not playing, it's a great hang. But if you are, their private basketball suites are unreal. Full court, lounge, music, TVs, the whole setup. And because you're hearing this from me, get half off your first private basketball suite rental. Just use code HALFOFFHOOPS. Trust me, you're going to love this place.
Jake from State Farm. I just beat my running PR, so I'm celebrating with the Banana Bonanza smoothie.
Hey, and you can keep celebrating when you create an affordable price just for you by bundling your home and auto with the State Farm Personal Price Plan. Go bananas.
I will. Hey, make it a large.
Bundling, just another way to save with the Personal Price Plan. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Prices are based on rating plans that vary by state. Coverage options are selected by the customer. Availability, amount of discounts and savings, and eligibility vary by state.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
John always listens to his truck. So when his brakes start talking, he goes to AutoZone, where a helpful AutoZoner gets him the right parts. If John has time to put them in, he borrows a kit with Loan-A-Tool. And if he doesn't, he gets a free shop referral. No hassles, just help. Everything you need, nothing you don't.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Deposit required for Loan-A-Tool. Restrictions apply.
Brandon Stokley here from my friends at Roller Auction. Do you have items you're looking to sell? Since 1976, Roller Auction has been conducting commercial and industrial auctions for Colorado government agencies, Fortune 500 companies, small business owners, secured creditors, individuals, and more. They have a large marketplace to showcase your assets, so don't wait. Visit rollerauction.com for a free consultation and turn those items into some cold, hard cash. Again, go visit them at rollerauction.com. That's rollerauction.com.
Mike Rowe here with another random fact. Those cracks on your walls aren't just cosmetic. They could mean your home is sinking. Whether it's drywall cracks, exterior cracks, or sticking doors or windows, do yourself a favor. Call Groundworks. I spent some time working with these guys, and they're the real deal. Their people are trained and certified to stabilize your foundation. Schedule a free inspection with Groundworks, the foundation and waterproofing experts.
Licensed in all states where work is performed. See website for details.
Want to start testosterone therapy? Don't choose a one-size-fits-all dose at your doctor's or pay hundreds out of pocket at a franchise. Go to Low T Center, the area's #1 TRT clinic. For effective custom testosterone covered by insurance, this month get free men's T-test, discounts on peptides, and more. Head to lowtcenter.com to book an appointment now.
Clinton Yates here. Game day brings the excitement. Your stay should feel just as memorable. With Marriott Bonvoy, official hotel partner of the NCAA and U.S. Soccer, you're connected to a portfolio of brands designed for how you travel. Some offer complimentary breakfast. Others give you room to spread out, space to stay productive, or extended stay comforts. So whether you're a traveling fan or part of the team, Marriott Bonvoy celebrates the moments that live on before and after the game. Marriott Bonvoy, where game day checks in.
I'm Boomer Esiason. My mom died from cancer. She was only 37 years old. She didn't have life insurance, and that was devastating for my family. That's why having life insurance is so important to me. Ethos makes it fast and easy. Get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. You can get up to $3 million in coverage with no medical exam.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/play. That's ethos.com/play.
Want real Broncos talk? Cecil Lammy and Andrew Mason bring the heat on Orange and Blue today. The most passionate, intelligent, and in-depth Broncos coverage in the game. Weekdays at 5 p.m. on the Denver Sports 104.3 The Fan YouTube channel. Hit subscribe at Denver Sports 104.3 and never miss another take. Denver Sports 104.3 The Fan. Music history.
I've now baptized you in the glory of Led Zeppelin.
Brutal honesty.
Today's just been a bad day for you, Mike. I don't know how else to put it.
And some questionable taste.
I do not heat up leftovers.
Oh, my
I only eat
God.
leftovers cold.
It's Stokley and Evans with Mark Schlereth on Denver Sports 104.3 The Fan.
There's been a whole lot of love thrown the way of the Colorado Avalanche this season, and justifiably so. But, man, things kind of fell flat against the Winnipeg Jets over the weekend, Mark. Richie Carney sitting in for Mike Evans alongside Mark Schlereth. And, yeah, man, I mean, listen, we had that night, Friday night, and we didn't get a chance to react to it because we were obviously in the morning, and this is our first opportunity to. But, man, Friday night between the Nuggets and the Avs was so exciting. The Colorado just hammers the Kraken.
Yeah.
Nathan McKinnon gets his first game back after that BS nonsensical, penalty situation that ends up getting rescinded. And the Nuggets come back against the Spurs. And then both teams over the weekend kind of take that momentum, that high ride into the weekend, and then Saturday basically just right back down.
Yeah, I thought the very first goal by Winnipeg was soft. That's all I can say. And, listen, Blackwood has had his struggles this season. There is no question about that. Jared Bednar, even a week ago, said, hey, man, this guy's got to be better. There was 4 shots on you in the first period, and, and you gave up 3 goals, and you got to be better. I'm not saying they're easy, but when you get when you're one-on-one with a guy, man, you got to take those shots, and you've got a clean look at the puck, and it's not – it's not an obstructed view. You've got to shut down that shot. And I thought the first goal was soft by Connor. I thought the second goal was, there's nothing you can do about the second goal. So like that one is what it is, and then obviously the empty netter. But the juxtaposition of what Blackwood looks like between the pipes and what Hellebuck looks like between the pipes, right. And there's such a discrepancy there. And, Richie, this is such a talented team, and you guys know more about hockey than I do, but this is such an unbelievably talented team, and they've pushed their chips into the middle to win a cup. And, again, I think Wedgie is the guy that gives them the best chance going forward based upon the way he has played here in the last, 25, 30 games. He gives them the best chance going forward. And I know they keep putting Blackwood out there, and hopefully, he gets his confidence back or whatever the case may be. But it's certainly like it doesn't look right. He doesn't look comfortable. It's almost like Christian Brown sometimes shooting a 3. It's like, I would love to give this ball up. I don't really want to shoot this ball. There are times when I see that. As he's playing, that's how I feel about Blackwood. I don't really want to be between the pipes.
Well, if we're assigning blame for the way things happened against Winnipeg, how much does Mackenzie Blackwood deserve, Jared Bednar? Oh, hold on.
Oh, well, we get it.
Some things never change,
Sometimes you got to plug stuff in.
It should have been above me. That was a very Mike Evans move right there. I really try to hold myself to a standard to where some of the things that happen when Mike is normally here, that I don't repeat some of those same behaviors. And then here I am just tripping and falling right into it. Let's try that again. How much blame, Jared Bednar, does Mackenzie Blackwood deserve for how things fell against Winnipeg?
I can't fault Blackie for the goals against. Like, one's a great shot off the rush, and the other one hits him high, and then the rebound lands right on their tape, And so, like, on those plays, they did a nice job getting out of their zone for the rush attack. They love the way we handled it. Like, obviously, it was a turnover at the ozone line. And the second one, we could have done a better job sealing that guy out net front. But as far as comes to our goaltender, I think he gave us a chance to win the hockey game.
Don't necessarily agree with what he's saying there, Mark, but I got to say I love the way he says it.
Yeah, no, I mean, I get it. Like I said, that second one, there was nothing you could do about it. I thought he had a good look at the first one. And again, I think as a coach sometimes when you're turning the puck over and you're given, rush or odd man rush, or you're given an opportunity for a good shot, I think you look at that as a coach and say, man, they shouldn't have had that opportunity. But still, when you see the puck, I mean, again, what Hellebuck was doing between the pipes, and I'm not saying that Blackie is Hellebuck. I mean, Hellebuck is amazing, but what he was doing between the pipes, like, it's different. And then the Avs outshot him. I don't know what the final tally was, but it was like 29-17. I mean, he gave up 2 goals on 16 shots essentially because he was out of the net on the one. So it just is like, again, he has his save percentage is not very good. He went through that 21 shots, giving up 7 goals through those 2 games against Dallas and And what was the next game that he did that where he got pulled in Dallas, and then the next game I can't remember. But you know what I'm saying? It just hasn't been, to me, it just hasn't been good enough. And you got a guy behind him in Blackie that's been better. I'm just one of those guys that I don't care how much money we spend on this dude. If the other guy is a better player, he gets to play.
There is, to a certain degree, a moment where you do have to not necessarily overrule or ignore, but you have to be more open to taking in what your eyes are telling you, what's happening directly in front of you, and weigh that more heavily against things like finances, things like your plan going into the season, or taking the sample size kind of more en masse. Because, to your point, Mark, you've got a backup goaltender for the Avalanche who leads the NHL in goals against average and in save percentage. And it's not because of a limited sample size either. He's had plenty of run because Blackwood started the season injured. I mean, Scott Wedgwood was a legitimate Team Canada snub on one of the most star-studded Team Canada teams in recent history. So when we talked about it last week, I said it wouldn't surprise me at all if Blackwood, there was kind of this emphasis to kind of stick with him because that's your guy, that's who you paid him to be, and you put that kind of financial and literal emphasis on him. But man, with each passing opportunity that we have to juxtapose these two against the other, it really does feel like the tide has shifted the other way. And I don't know if that means you start with Wedgwood and you roll with it, and then if it turns back into a pumpkin, because remember, Scott Wedgwood's been a career backup goaltender for most of his time in the NHL, and there's a reason for that, right? But we're not talking about 2, 3, 5 years ago in Wedgwood's career. We're talking about right now. He's playing the best hockey of his career, and he's doing it consistently enough that I think we've at least warranted more than a conversation to say, this guy maybe should just take things over.
I like competition, and my whole life has been about competition. The best player gets to play. And ultimately, you've got a blueprint years ago when the Avs won the Cup between Darcy Kemper and Frankie. And, and they went back and forth. And for a while, Frankie was the better goaltender, and he was getting the shots and he was getting the opportunities. And then, he's got one shaky game, and Kemper comes back in and ends up, winning a cup. But I don't have, I'm not one of those guys. I'm loyal to a point. My coach used to say all the time, I'm with you win or tie. Lose and we're going to have issues. And so I look at that and say, man, it is time for the Avs to really start buckling down and thinking about this. And I'm sure they are. I'm sure, they're giving Blackie every opportunity. But if Wedgwood continues to play better than him, come playoff time, you've got to make that switch. I'd be interested to hear from diehard Avalanche guy, diehard hockey guy. And maybe I'm talking out my ass. I don't know. But, I just see what I see, and I see a guy that does not look comfortable between the pipes in Blackwood, and I see a guy who looks very comfortable between the pipes in Wedgwood.
Plenty of reaction on the RamosLaw.com text line 303-713-1043 and on our YouTube stream at DenverSports1043. Let us know. Is it time to turn the page on Mackenzie Blackwood for the 2026 season at least and just focus and let Scott Wedgwood do what he's continued to do? Or is there more of a long game 10,000-foot approach that says, hey, stay the course, steady the course, and water will find its level eventually? We'll get to some of your reaction coming up next.
Is there still a mystery ingredient that could hold the Broncos offense back?
Whatever grade or level you had this Broncos offense at last year, do you honestly believe that they're going to make this huge, significant leap, and they missed out on that chance because they didn't sign Kenneth Walker or Travis Etienne or Tyler Algier, Rico Dowdle, or any of these guys? You really believe that this is what's going to hold them back?
Denver Sports 1043. The Fan.
Free barbecue. Yep. Absolutely free barbecue. Hey, everybody, Dan Jacobs, the barbecue lawyer at 303 Law 4040. It's 2026, and we are taking our free meal program to the next level, and I want you to help spread the word with me if you can. I got a brand new smoker, and this thing's a beast. It's over 6 feet tall, so we can cook that 1,000 pounds of free barbecue each and every month. Here's what you do. It's Eastern Hills Community Church, 4 to 6 p.m. every first and third Thursday. I'm smoking up delicious pulled pork or my addictive copycat Chipotle recipe, and we're serving it up for free. You just get in line, you pop the trunk, we put free groceries in your trunk, and then we ask you how many meals you need for the night. It's that simple. No questions asked. It's at Smoky Hill and Arapahoe Road every first and third Thursday, 4 to 6 p.m. Help us spread the word. And if you have any questions, you can always call me. The Barbecue Lawyer's number is 303-LAW-4040.
Cashback is not available on gas in New Jersey and Wisconsin.
Couponing. Wow, you didn't strike me as the coupon type.
Just trying to stay ahead of inflation. Gas, groceries, everything. It's all more expensive. I need to save wherever I can.
Have you tried Upside yet?
Upside? What's that?
It's a free app that I use that pays cash back for every gallon of gas I buy. You've got to buy gas to get around anyway. Might as well get paid for it.
Come on, does that really add up to anything?
I've already made around $200. The extra cash helped pay down my bills, and I even had a little extra left to treat myself.
And the Upside app is free?
Totally free, and the cash back is real. You can transfer the cash right to your bank account.
I'm downloading Upside right now.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code ENJOY to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, to PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code ENJOY for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code ENJOY for a 25 cents per gallon bonus.
As America's #1 motorcycle insurer, Progressive has your back.
Oh, like roadside assistance.
Oh yeah, Progressive offers that.
Great. Do you have plans Saturday? My cousin canceled and I'd love to have someone to ride with.
Actually, we just do insurance, not riding buddies.
Cool, let's meet at noon. Actually, scratch that. 10 a.m., you and me, breakfast at a diner.
To be clear, Progressive has your back for insurance only. So get a quote and see if you can save.
Okay, so if you beat me there, get me the Lumberjack Special. We can share.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Roadside assistance may require comprehensive coverage.
A SoFi personal loan is here to help you achieve something once thought impossible: overcoming high-interest credit card debt. Walk the tightrope of your finances with one low, fixed-rate monthly payment, no fees required, and as soon as the same-day funding. That's right. Pull off your own debt-defying stunt with a SoFi personal loan. Visit SoFi.com/trick to learn more. Loans originated by SoFi Bank, N.A., member FDIC. Terms and conditions apply. NMLS 696891.
I lost 60 pounds a few years ago with SodaWeightLoss.com, and it's never coming back. I am never gaining that weight back because I learned how to eat, what to eat, and when to eat with SodaWeightLoss.com. You can join Soda for a short time that have results that last a lifetime. Call them up at 1-866-800-SODA. That's 1-866-800-SODA, or go online to SodaWeightLoss.com. And I lost those 60 pounds, and I'm never going back because of the personalized touch that SodaWeightLoss.com gives you with a personal nutritionist that's always available via text when you have questions, you have concerns. Sometimes you just need encouragement on your weight loss journey. Have a friend there. Have your personal nutritionist there for you. It's SodaWeightLoss.com. It's changed my life. I look and feel 10 years younger, and I love it. You'll love it too. Go to SodaWeightLoss.com. Again, call them up, 1-866-800-SODA. Join Soda for a short time to have results that last a lifetime. At SodaWeightLoss.com. SOTA is, say it with me, state of the art.
When the Nuggets are knocking down threes, you score too. If Denver hits 15 or more three-pointers, you score a free 28-ounce Gatorade Lower Sugar the very next day at your friendly King Soopers. Gatorade Lower Sugar is scientifically formulated with Gatorade's #1 proven electrolyte blend and has 75% less sugar than Gatorade Thirst Quencher and no artificial flavors, sweeteners, or colors. Big shots deserve next-level hydration. Only at King Soopers.
Ben Franklin here to talk to you about your water heater. A water heater is a vital part of your home's plumbing. When it doesn't work, it can really freeze up your routine. Call the pros at Benjamin Franklin Plumbing about water heater options for your home. Visit BenjaminFranklinPlumbing.com or call 877-BEN-1776 to request an appointment. Call for details. Independently owned and operated. Licensed in their respective state or county.
$5,000. That's the average amount of money people in the U.S. are now spending on gas in a year. $5,000. That's crazy. If you drive, you have to download Upside, the free app that gives you cash back every time you get gas. That's right. You can earn real cash back with Upside just by buying the gas you're already buying. You can literally start earning cash back today.
I use Upside every time I fill up, and I've already made around $2
you $300.
You're putting gas in your car anyway. Why not get real cash back? If you like free money, download Upside.
I'm saving the cash I earn from using Upside to help pay for a vacation later this year.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code BACK5 to get up to a $5 bonus on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code BACK5 to get up to a $5 bonus on your first tank. That's code BACK5 to get up to a $5 bonus on your first tank.
Running a business is hard enough. Odoo makes it easier with one simple, all-in-one platform. Start today at odoo.com. ODOO.com.
KKFN and KKFN HD1 Longmont, Denver. Powered by Able Builders, it's Stokley and Evans with Mark Schlereth.
Denver Sports Snapshot.
Tonight on 104.3 HD3, DU Lacrosse faces Syracuse with pregame starting at 5:30.
Presented by Gebhardt BMW, your trusted family dealer since 1975.
Relentless mind games.
Are you trying to get me in an O'Reilly right now?
Total accountability.
You're always throwing your teammates under the bus. That's just what you do.
And a sprinkle of advanced analytics.
The Boo rating, BOO, which is balls over opponent.
It's Stokley and Evans with Mark Schlereth on Denver Sports 104.3. The Fan.
Rolling along on a Monday morning, Richie Carney sitting in for Mike Evans alongside Mark Schlereth. We were talking a little Avs going into the break, Mark, and just kind of how it feels like the vibe around Mackenzie Blackwood has shifted pretty significantly because, frankly, Scott Wedgwood is just playing at a literal top-tier NHL level and making a potential decision about who should start between the pipes for the Avs when the postseason rolls around as it continues to draw ever closer, a lot more difficult.
Yeah, it's certainly. I just don't. I don't know. I'm just one of those guys that always has felt like, the best player gets to play, regardless of where you're drafted, regardless of what they're paying you, regardless of it's about winning. And I get that you're going to get the benefit of the doubt if they're paying you a lot to be the number one guy, and they've done that, and they're trying to work you in there and get your confidence back and get you playing at a really high level. But again, eventually, if the dude that replaces you plays better than you, guess what? That guy gets to play. And I think you got to really understand, team dynamics and how it makes the players on the team feel. Because the players know. The players know from a confidence standpoint who gives you the best chance to win. They know all that stuff. And they're loyal to a point, and that point is whether we win or lose and who gives us the best chance to do that. And so, yes, will we, support Blackwood and do all that stuff? Yes. But eventually, if that's the difference between winning and losing, they will embrace, embrace Wedgwood and say, hey, man, this gives us the best chance going forward. So I know from a management standpoint, from an organizational standpoint, it's tricky, but it's not. And players love honesty. I'm serious.
Yeah.
If you think I suck, tell me I suck, and then tell me what I have to do to get better. And if I can't do those things, then I don't deserve to play. And it hurts your ego. And I've been benched before, Richie. And it was devastating. But at the same time, I looked at myself at that point and said, I've got to get better. And when I do, this will never happen to me again. There is no way this will ever happen to me again. And so I think you've got to, you got to come to grips with that. And sometimes, you have seasons, I'm not talking about the whole season, but seasons in that you don't have confidence and you're not playing well, whatever sport you're playing, and you've got to weather those things and you've got to get out the other side of those things. But if you don't, and the guy who comes in and replaces you plays better, then that guy gets to play, and that's just the reality of professional sports.
I don't know that it's time to hit any kind of panic button or start throwing your arms up in the air when it comes to the Avs, because they are still leading the NHL.
Sure,
in
I
the
get
points
that
race and all that. But I'll say this: And I say this only because, one, we asked for the reaction from our loyal listeners on the RamosLaw.com text line and on YouTube, but also to throw a teammate under the bus, like it said in the rejoin at the start of the segment there. Mike Evans sat in this chair and said, it's a foregone conclusion, book it, done it, in Sharpie. The Colorado Avalanche are winning the Central Division, and he said it early.
Yeah.
They have a 3-point lead as of this morning on the Dallas Stars.
Do they
3
really?
points with 2 games head-to-head left to play.
Hello,
Jinx.
And I know the Avs are 7-3 in their last 10. Dallas is 9-0-1. They're just not losing.
Yeah.
They are playing at a form, at least from a record standpoint, that is similar to what we saw the Avs do for a good chunk of their start of the season. Mark, there is a real world where the Mike Evans Jinxie Cat could be back in full swing here for the Avs. And I hope it's not true, but as Mel, our hockey aficionado on the YouTube chat and many on the text line are pointing out, those words were put out in the ether, and it's the sphincter's tightening a little bit from my perspective.
Yeah, I don't know that Mike understands that at this particular point in time, but he was still strong because he said that a long time ago, and he was still strong several weeks ago when I brought it up that when the Avs scuffled for a little bit, I think coming right out of the Olympic break, but. It's a great point, and it's worth monitoring as Mike, could get his label of Jinxie Cat back.
Yep, we will see how they take care of things, or if they can bounce back against the likes of the Pittsburgh Penguins. In the meantime, though, the Denver Nuggets had all the high that was built into the weekend leading in, took a little bit of a dip against the Los Angeles Lakers. We were taking some thermometers rectally and, figuratively about how we feel about the Nuggets as true NBA Finals contenders, and we will do that again coming up next.
Tournament time is here, and so is your shot at $5,000. Head to DenverSports.com/bracket to enter our 5K Bracket Challenge, presented by Bryant, Colorado, and Xfinity. Think you can pick the perfect bracket? Prove it, but don't wait. Entries close before tip-off on March 19th. That's DenverSports.com/bracket. Denver Sports 104.3. The Fan.
Well, busy time right now. Free agency, stretch run before the playoffs, and tax season. Which one of these don't belong? If you are dealing with tax problems and you think you could be in trouble with the IRS, or you're in trouble with the IRS, get Advanced Tax Solutions on your side immediately. Todd Whalen is the founder of Advanced Tax Solutions, and he is the dude. More than 30 years of experience. He's a CPA, an enrolled agent, a tax resolution specialist. He's certified to fight the IRS in tax court, where he's undefeated. Todd and his team is who you want on your side if you're facing tax levies, tax debt, back taxes, or any other type of tax problem. People can fall behind on their taxes. It happens. The key is to get back into the system, even if times are tough right now. According to Todd Whalen, it might be the best time to get the most favorable deal from the IRS when you're at your worst financially. Advanced Tax Solutions has a long list of clients that they've saved thousands of dollars and untold headaches. So call 303-753-6040 and at advancedtaxsolutions.com.
Jackson Hewitt has a great tax prep deal, $149 or less. Missing out is like ignoring the check engine light in your car. You'll regret it. Seriously, the price is only $149 or less, no matter how complicated. So don't wait. Like when you get a password expires today alert, or you're shopping online and there's only one item left. It's like your taxes are in the cart. Just complete the purchase. Hurry! This deal for $149 or less is like your phone at 1%. It's about to power down. Limited time offer for new clients on federal returns. Participating locations only. Terms at jacksonhewitt.com/149.
Why'd I go to the doctor? Working on the farm, my heart kept skipping a beat. I didn't think much of it, but my daughters made me get checked out. Turns out I have atrial fibrillation, which increases the risk of stroke about 5 times.
Symptoms like irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain, shortness of breath, fatigue, or lightheadedness can come and go. But if it's AFib, the risk of stroke remains. If you have symptoms, contact a doctor.
I'm so glad I did.
Visit notimetowait.com. Sponsored by Bristol-Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
Jacob's Law and 303 Law 4040, the husband and wife law firm where you don't get passed around to a law clerk or some call center overseas. You always get to meet directly with me and my lovely wife, Kimberly. Go ahead, save that number in your phone. You never know when you're going to need it. It's 303 Law 4040.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids.
877 CARS for Kids to reach a friendly live agent. Donation is super easy, and your car can be picked up as soon as tomorrow. Call us now or go to carsforkids.org.
7 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Did you know you can donate real estate too?
Check engine or ABS light on? Take the guesswork out of your warning lights with O'Reilly Veriscan. It's free. Ask for O'Reilly Veriscan.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Every business starts with an idea. With smart business buying from Amazon Business, get everything you need to grow in one familiar place. From office supplies to IT essentials and maintenance tools. Ready to bring your visions to life? Learn how at AmazonBusiness.com.
Do you have at least 1 month worth of food in your pantry? If not, you should definitely go to MyPatriotSupply.com right now. My Patriot Supply is America's #1 supplier of long-term storable food. They've helped over 3 million Americans get prepared. And for a limited time, when you order their best-selling 4-week food supply, you'll get an additional week of food absolutely free. There's no catch, but act fast because this offer ends soon. Claim your free emergency food kit now at MyPatriotSupply.com. That's MyPatriotSupply.com.
If you're in love, you need to head to Williams Jewelers, where Bridal Fest continues.
Come shop all our top bridal designers, including Gabriel & Company, A. Jaffe, and Takori. Over 2,000 of the latest engagement ring styles and wedding bands from Christian Bauer.
Along with our best, direct from the cutter, diamond prices of the season.
Listen to this. 3/4 carat diamonds from just $26.95.
Gorgeous 1 carats from just $39.95.
And natural 2 carat diamonds from an amazing $13.95.
Guys, during Bridal Fest, qualified buyers can get 1 year, 12-month financing interest free.
Plus, when you spend $5,000 or more during Bridal Fest, you'll receive a Yeti cooler as our gift.
So join us for Williams Jewelers Bridal Fest, March 17th through Saturday, March 21st at Williams Jewelers of Inglewood.
Where Colorado shines.
Williams Jewelers, we can make diamonds a part of your life.
Williams Jewelers of Inglewood, the official jeweler of the Colorado Avalanche.
The right financial strategies can make a huge difference, especially if you're nearing retirement. Adam Mueller talks retirement strategies with Mile High Money. Saturday mornings at 8 on Denver Sports 104.3 The Fan.
This segment on 104.3 The Fan, powered by Waterloo Turf Denver. Get your Saturdays back.
Names that rhyme, takes that hit different. Shapiro and Piro is happy hour sports talk built for the modern fan. Local stories, hidden gems, and the mustache monologues you never knew you needed. Weekdays at 3 p.m. on the Denver Sports 104.3 The Fan YouTube channel. Subscribe now at Denver Sports 104.3 and get in on the action. Denver Sports 104.3 The Fan. Sharp criticism.
Mark Schlereth a pansy.
Cries for help.
Dude, wake up.
No.
I need better from you.
And a little bit of tough love.
If the truth gives you a wedgie, then you know what? Buy better underpants.
It's Stokley and Evans with Mark Schlereth on Denver Sports 104.3 The Fan.
There's a fire, call the fireman. If you're in pain, babe, call the doctor.
Want to give a quick shout out on the RamosLaw.com text line 303-713-1043. Got a text here from the 9676. It says, "Yo, Richie, my son broke his arm a few weeks ago, and Stoke and Mike gave him a little shout out, but Mark was late, and he wanted to make sure that he heard from him. Shout out to you, Omar Jr., with the broken arm on your way to school right now, buddy. Have a great rest of your day, man."
First off,
and there's a Cody bark.
Omar Jr., man, toughness, right? I love it. Show up with the cast. Let them know that you play hard. You go hard. But for Omar Sr. to say I was late, I've never been late. I don't show up until 7.
That's true.
That's my time slot.
That's true.
So don't say that I was late because I've never one time to this show. This is kind of, speaking of jinxie cat, I've never been late.
I was going to say.
I've been here 10 years. I've never one time been late. So.
Zach Bai infamously pounded his chest about that for a long time, to the point where Stokley and several of us at the station conspired to make sure that he was late, just so he could stop.
But Zach Bai skates in with like 37 seconds left before we go on air. That's how.
That is true. He leaves himself no time.
Zero
I'm
time.
an idiot.
I'm always early, so I've never been late. But shout out to Omar Jr., man, love it. Love it. Get well soon, brother.
Was that like a badge of honor? Because I know you did. If you show up to the playground at school when you're in elementary school, maybe even middle school to a certain degree, and you got the cast on the wrist or you got some kind of like hardware associated with an injury, that's kind of like a badge of honor, isn't it? It's like a little like street cred.
Yeah, I broke a lot of bones playing, but I never broke an arm or a leg or anything like that. A lot of fingers and things of that nature, bones in your hand and things. But yeah, I think there is some street cred to that. It's kind of like the street cred. I don't know if you did this when like Little League football or whatever, but I distinctly remember like you get done with a game, like a Little League game, and your parents take you to McDonald's. Like that was like a big thing when I was a kid. Right. And you would walk in with your shoulder pads on. You didn't take your shoulder pads off on the ride home. You'd walk in, let everybody know that I don't know if you guys noticed, but I played Pop Warner football.
You see those grass stains? Yeah, I did that.
Yeah, exactly. No, and just hope you didn't have grass stains on your back.
Exactly.
Right.
That just sends a different message.
Right.
Like,
it sends a different
you're trying
message.
to show off, and your dad's like, "Wait, why are they all in the
Why
back
can I not
there?
see the numbers on the back of your jersey?
The front of your
because
jersey's so clean.
You're what we used to call in wrestling. If you were a terrible wrestler and got pinned a lot, we used to call you a fish. Because you're always flopping around on your back like you're a fish, right?
Awesome.
And but yeah, I do think there's that badge of honor. You show up to school like with the cast on, you're like, yeah, I broke my arm, Hell
yeah! I vividly remember I broke my wrist. I had they called it was a compound fracture in my wrist. Screwing around, playing football with my friends. And I remember they asked me what color I wanted, and I got black. So I had this black cast because I thought black cast means you can't sign it with a black Sharpie. So I got the silver Sharpie.
Ooh,
and
it was like a Raiders thing.
Yes, it was. It was like a Raider.
Where did you grow up?
Well, see, I grew up in Southern California. Well, I grew up here. I was born in Southern California.
Okay.
We moved to Colorado. We moved to Parker when I was 4. So I'm about as local native as you can get without
so
the birth
you had the broken
it was
arm
not
here.
I had the broken arm here. And yeah, I remember that because that was the badge of honor for me was walking in and I had my arm taped up because then it's like the girls in the class are like, oh my gosh, what happened? Let me see, right? Then you're on an autograph tour.
Right.
And you're feeling good. The one thing that I don't miss is the smell. The stink and the smell of a cast that's been on for like 5 or 6 weeks for a kid in middle school that like probably didn't shower as much as he could have, but definitely went hard in the paint and played hard enough to get some odor brewing in there.
Right, it stinks. And it's itchy, right? You got to stick the stick down you got to get a chopstick and stick it down in there and try to scratch it. Like I've seen that move. I've seen it. Again, I've never actually donned a cast. I've had
such a Mark Schlereth statement, by the way. He's had 9,000 surgeries. He's broken so many bones, but he never had a cast.
No, I had a
kind of a big deal.
Like a knee thing that it was kind of a soft cast after a ACL reconstruction, but no, never had a cast.
Yeah, I can't say the same. I haven't had many. I had one, but I have my bones have been broken to the degree where I needed assistance putting them back together. Speaking of putting things back together, Mark, the Nuggets had a 2-game high riding into this weekend that it really felt like momentum going into this game against the Lakers, a team that for a good stretch of time, they just owned them. And it was kind of a reversal of the way that the Lakers had historically treated the Nuggets, and then the Luka Doncic trade happened. And the Nuggets went from being like 13-1 against the Lakers to now 2-4. But they're 2-2 when Jokic plays. Regardless, it was Luka Doncic that called game against Spencer Jones, and it was Austin Reeves who did the backyard basketball, intentionally missed the free throw, got his own rebound, and then sunk a midi for a 2-point shot to send it to overtime. And it just kind of felt like, just like the San Antonio game, there were opportunities to kind of keep things afloat that they just didn't maximize in the first half. That's how they found themselves down 20. They had opportunities, the Nuggets did, to put this Lakers team away, not even have it go to overtime. And like has been a continuing narrative throughout the course of this season, they just didn't execute when it mattered.
I don't have a lot of faith. Whoa. Siri went after me there. I just don't have a lot of faith in the Nuggets' ability to close things out. I said going into this 6-game stretch, Richie, I thought they needed to be 4-2 coming out of this thing. And, for all intents and purposes, they should have won that game. They ended up getting a 7-point lead there late in the fourth quarter, and something like that, 7 points or so, and giving it back up. And again, there are just things that, and I understand injuries, and I understand Payton Watson hasn't come back yet, and they're still working in Aaron Gordon and all these things, but I just continue to be skeptical because of exactly what you talked about, like giving up the play to Doncic and not fouling Doncic early, to eat some time up on that clock, make him go for an inbounds and all those different things, at least to get the ball out of his hands, right? And some stuff of that nature that you look at and say, this has got to be better. And I don't know, maybe maybe they, in the last handful of games, maybe they get it back together. But I just, based upon the West, based upon OKC, based upon San Antonio, based upon Houston, like how good the teams are that are in front of them, like the gauntlet that you're going to have to go through in the West just to get to the NBA Finals, just to get to the Western Conference Finals. I just don't know that they're going to have enough in the tank to do that.
So coming off of the Rockets and Spurs game, we felt like me and Will were sitting here, and we kind of felt like, hey, if they're fully healthy, and you don't want to overreact, right? And we prefaced it that way. You don't want to overreact to 1-2 games or 1 or 2 instances in an 82-game season. But we all kind of seem to feel like, hey, man, if this team is healthy and available, and you've got guys like Christian Brown, who's coming into a bit of a new form, certainly Cam Johnson, who's looking like a completely different player. Plus, you get AG and Payton Watson back, Spencer Jones playing his way into a what will hopefully soon probably be a big-time NBA contract for that young man, that this team can beat almost anybody in a 7-game series. Has that candle flickered? Has that light dimmed on the opinions that we held going into this weekend after seeing what you saw against the Lakers?
Right. I talked about that San Antonio game, the toughness it took to overcome that 20-point deficit, the toughness it took to play the way they played down the stretch to get that victory in the fourth quarter. And, of course, Murray's shot-making ability in that fourth quarter was just absolutely sublime, right?
Yeah.
So we talked about all that stuff. And of course, you get done with that game, you feel great. And then you juxtapose that with the L.A. game where you built back up a lead, but you couldn't retain the lead. You couldn't get Murray didn't get to the foul line. He couldn't make shots. Like I said, it felt like, and again, this is just me watching the game, sitting on my couch going, it just feels like they don't make adjustments fast enough, right? They don't look at themselves and say, we got to do this better or that better. And so still defensively, they still are, like, I'm very concerned about the ability of the other team to get to the rim whenever they seem to want to. I mean, they get by guys and get to the 10 on a consistent basis. It just, those things concern me.
Yeah, I think the conversation about, and we touched on it a little bit last week, about David Adelman's decision-making, his game management skills and ability in these clutch moments in games that more often than not hasn't panned out. Just like we talk about maybe a broader conversation with Mackenzie Blackwood and Scott Wedgwood of the Avs, I think there is at least a continued presence or opportunity for a conversation about David Adelman and the way that he's handling things from the bench in-game for the Nuggets. We'll get back into that here in a little bit. Coming up on the other side, we got to figure out if we're just missing something or if we need to start, wrapping our heads around a Broncos offseason that's going to be very, very disappointing. In the meantime, tournament time is here. March Madness is upon us, and so is your shot at $5,000. Head to DenverSports.com/bracket to enter our 5K bracket challenge presented by Bryant, Colorado, and Xfinity. You think you can make the perfect bracket? Now's your chance to prove it. But don't wait, because entries close before tip-off on March 19th. That's DenverSports.com/bracket.
Names that rhyme, takes that hit different. Shapiro and Piro is happy hour sports talk built for the modern fan. Local stories, hidden gems, and the mustache monologues you never knew you needed. Weekdays at 3 p.m. on the Denver Sports 1043 The Fan YouTube channel. Subscribe now at Denver Sports 1043 and get in on the action. Denver Sports 1043 The Fan.
Hey guys, Mark Schlereth here from my friends at Cudarelli Vision. So here's my story. I wore glasses all growing up. Then when I hit my 30s playing for the Broncos, I had LASIK surgery. That was awesome. But when I hit my mid-50s, I started needing readers for everything I was doing, whether it was studying film or, looking at statistics, reading articles, going out to dinner and trying to read the menu. Anyhow, those days are days of the past because I went and saw Dr. Cudarelli at Cudarelli Vision for refractive lens exchange, and I'm telling you, game changer, guys. It was for me. It could be for you as well. And I tell you, Dr. Cudarelli is going to answer all your questions. You reach out to him at ColoradoRLE.com. They'll answer your questions about what RLE can do for you, what the cost is, the financing, is it covered, all those things. Cudarelli is Colorado's most experienced with over 90,000 vision correction procedures. He can tell you when it's the right time for RLE, just like he did for me. No readers, no glasses, no contacts, no cataracts. Cudarelli Vision RLE. Find him at ColoradoRLE.com. That's ColoradoRLE.com.
Hi, I'm Kamiko, the founder of Miko's Hot Chicken. When we started our family restaurant, we were also raising a family. But let me tell you, it wasn't easy. Our Chase Inc. card was there to reward us on all of our business needs. Now we have a thriving location, and we're hungry for more.
With the Chase Inc. Business Unlimited card, you can earn unlimited 1.5% cash back on every purchase, so your business can go from here to possible. Chase for business. Make more with yours. Real business owners compensated for their participation. Cards issued by JPMorgan Chase Bank and a member FDIC. Subject to credit approval. Terms apply.
What if you could have the most reliable Wi-Fi at the same price for 5 years? That's the Xfinity 5-year price guarantee. No annual contracts, no hidden fees, and our best equipment included. Plus, get online in minutes with same-day Wi-Fi. Just 5 years of fiber-powered Wi-Fi that boosts speeds to the devices that need them most. Lock in your price and unlock the possibilities. Xfinity. Imagine that. Select plans only. Restrictions apply. Powered by fiber. Connected to the premises by coaxial cable. Actual speeds vary.
Hi, I'm Terrell Davis, two-time world champion and Pro Football Hall of Famer. There is nothing more important than your health. That's why I made the smart move to invest in fitness equipment with Fitness Gallery. It's a game changer.
Score big. Save 25% off all primetime functional trainers, home gyms, and racks. Work out on your schedule on the equipment you choose from the safety and comfort of your own home. Save up to 50% off on select premium equipment. Visit one of Fitness Gallery's 7 convenient locations from Colorado Springs to Fort Collins.
Texting enrolls you in a recurring automated marketing text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
The team's looking good this season.
I think so. Man, I miss playing football. Ever since I turned 40, I just can't find that fire I used to have.
Think it could be lower testosterone?
What do you mean?
I was feeling the same way. After 40, the body has less testosterone, and men lose their edge. That's why I take Nugenix Total T2.
That's the testosterone booster, right?
Yes, but Total T2 is their brand new formula that skyrockets nitric oxide levels in as little as 3 hours. Since I started taking it, I've been lifting like when we played for Coach Carter. My energy is way up, and it even spiced up things between me and the missus.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles?
Yep, just send a text.
Text HAWK to 321-321 for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T2, the next generation testosterone booster. Text now and we'll include a bottle of Nugenix Thermo X, our newest, most powerful fat burner ever, absolutely free. Text HAWK to 321-321. That's HAWK to 321-321.
These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
Denver Sports Snapshot.
Tonight on 104.3 HD3, DU Lacrosse faces Syracuse with pregame starting at 5:30.
Presented by Gebhardt BMW, your trusted family dealer since 1975.
Music history.
I've now baptized you in the glory of Led Zeppelin.
Brutal honesty.
Today's just been a bad day for you, Mike. I don't know how else to put it.
And some questionable taste.
I do not heat up leftovers.
Oh, my
I only eat
God.
leftovers cold.
It's Stokley and Evans with Mark Schlereth on Denver Sports 104.3 The Fan.
The Denver Broncos continue their march into free agency, and I'll be damned if they're not just holding strong. They are the one remaining of the 32 NFL teams to not bring in an outside free agent, and they did put a significant emphasis on retaining virtually all of their guys from last year, save for Dre Greenlaw, but every player, Mark, if I believe I read correctly last week, after bringing back Jaleel McLaughlin, every player who rushed or caught a pass for the Broncos last year is back on the roster in 2026. That's almost unprecedented given the turnover rates around the league for these NFL teams, right?
It truly is. And usually you look at a guy and you're like, hey, man, we need to upgrade here, or we covet this player from that, organization. And it does say a lot about the culture that is being built. And I know Stokley's sick of hearing about culture, and he wants a couple of bad dudes on the team, but there is an importance in culture. There is an importance in practicing what you preach. And I think they really look at themselves as, hey, we were really good last year. We're going to be better. And here's one of the things that was really interesting to me, Richie, as I thought about kind of this process. And everybody says, well, we need another receiver, right? Or we need another tight end. And I look at kind of some of the lack of production offensively. The fact that you were like 3/4 of the way through the season, you were leading the league in 3 and outs.
Mm-hmm.
And I look at the missed opportunities. Remember early in the season, I think we tend to forget this because we just become prisoners of the moment. And we remember kind of how that fourth quarter, the Giants game went, and how Bo played late in games and all this stuff. But we tend to forget all the missed opportunities that were there, that were constructed, that were created through coaching and play calling that we didn't hit on. And like when I went through Evan Ingram's stuff, right? I went through all his targets. And of 8 games, I didn't go through the whole season, but I think I went through 8 games of Evan Ingram. And all his targets, for the most part, were underneath. They were underneath targets. They were block for 1,001, check to the flat. Block for 1,001, just run a hitch. Block for 1,001, get over the center, run a spot. Just sit there. And there's a few like low crosses. And then there was a handful once they crossed the 40 of kind of get him in the slot and see if you can get a one-on-one down the football field, down the seam, maybe a fade, whatever the case may be. And they missed on all those opportunities. And it wasn't from a lack of Evan Ingram being open. He was open, but they missed. Now, I'm sure there's other times where they ran like a deep ball to Evan Ingram and he wasn't targeted, so I didn't look at that, right? I didn't see that particular play. I can't just put every play. I could put every play of the game on and watch for Evan Ingram, but I didn't want to do that. That would take me forever. But there were plenty of opportunities, 5 or 6, that they did not connect on deep balls where Ingram was open and Bo Nix, frankly, missed it. And the same thing on the outside. With Troy Franklin, I remember that game early in Indianapolis where they got the 0 blitz at the end of the game. They had a wide open throw, and Bo missed it.
He did.
It would have been a touchdown. So, and we talked about his frenetic feet in the pocket and how he climbed it too fast. And, I talked to Chase Daniel, former quarterback in this league a long time, that had looked at some of his stuff and talked to him, texted with him about it. And just kind of the frenetic nature of being eager. So I think if you go back and look at this, and this is one of the things I was telling Mike, that after a game or after a season, the coaches put up these cut-ups, and they say, okay, let's look at every all-go we ran. Right? And so we got into this formation, whether it was 2x2 or 3x1 or whatever the case may be, whether it was 2 tight ends or 3 wide receivers, all of our all-go plays. And how many times were we open? And how many times did we either throw the check down or how many times did we miss the open receiver? And so you'll look at it and you're like, damn, we missed, we ran all go 82 times during the season. And, most of the time all go, like 70% of the time you throw the check down on all go. It just is the way it operates, right? They give up a bunch of space, right? And you're throwing it to the back and the check down. So that's just kind of how all go works. But the 30% of the time that you chucked it down the field, how many did you miss? And, you think about percentages when you're throwing it deep and stuff. You look at those things and go and say, hey, man, we had, in those 30% of the time, we had 17 targets that were wide open, and we only hit 4 of them. so you start looking at the percentage. Normally that's about a 35% throw or whatever. If we hit 5 more, what do our numbers look like?
Right.
Bo Nix all of a sudden now has 4,000 yards passing, and all of a sudden he has 40 touchdowns if we just hit on these plays. So I think they'll go back and look at it and go, like, man, we had all these things that were wide open with the guys that we have, and another year in the offense, they're just going to be that much better. I think that's how the Broncos kind of assessed and evaluated their season and saying we're going to get better, more consistent play from Bo like we did in that Buffalo game. He was awesome in that Buffalo game, and the misses they had were Cortland Sutton drops.
Yeah, Lil Jordan Humphrey drops, things like that.
Right.
I can understand that, Mark, to a degree. Because, listen, and it's a sentiment on the RamosLaw.com text line, and I see it on YouTube as well. I understand when you've got a 14-3 team, regardless of how you got there, and how they got there is part of the conversation.
Right.
But you got good football players, right? And there's worse things in life than wanting to keep your guys that you know are good.
Yeah.
That being said, it feels to me a little bit like this Broncos strategy would work great, would look great, and would sound great if we were operating in a vacuum. If it was just the Broncos in their own little silo that we were worried about, they say, hey, yeah, okay. They cut ties with Dre Greenlaw because Justin Strnad played like a starter when he was out there, and Alex Singleton's your green dot, and those two have good chemistry together.
Right.
And, okay, we brought back Tyler Bidet and Jaleel McLaughlin because they had a smaller role within the offense, and we're familiar with that room, we're comfortable with it, and we're going to make upgrades elsewhere. And it's not going to be at the wide receiver position because we're going to bring back Lil Jordan Humphrey. We're going to keep growing our guys and do those things. And all that's great because the Broncos were a 14-3 team. But every other team in the NFL, Mark, all 31 teams are getting better, or at least they're taking attempts to improve and shore up weaknesses and holes on their roster that were exposed over the course of the 2025 season. And those for the Broncos, those weaknesses and those holes, a lot of them are exactly the same as they were last season compared to this season.
Correct.
The swings and misses they took didn't hit like you thought. So why then does a team that is on the precipice of a Super Bowl, was last year and would have been there if not for Bo's injury, and got to 14 wins with 12 fourth-quarter comebacks and going 11-0 in one-score games, something that feels almost impossible to replicate.
Right.
How does that then justify the strategy of, well, look, we did it last year with these guys, we'll go ahead and do it again, when everybody else is not doing that?
Yeah. Yeah.
How do you justify that?
Yeah. Well, so I think from their perspective, again, it comes down to what they see on tape. And let me just say this. You watch games, you really look at things, you're a diehard fan, I get all of that stuff. But until you get the coach's tape, the all-22, the end zone stuff, and you really kind of study it, you don't really, you cannot get that stuff off the television copy. You just flat can't. And so, again, they will see things as a coaching staff, knowing the context that's provided by understanding the call, understanding what you were trying to do, and then, you look at it and say, man, this was wide open. This would have been a touchdown. This would have been a big-time play. This would have been – and you see all those things you missed because you're still a relatively young offense. You can walk away from that going, man, we could have been so much better, and we're going to be so much better going forward. And then you can look at the other free agents out there and saying, and look at those guys and saying, is that guy truly better than the guy we have here? And and they can look at it and say, he's not a significant upgrade. You could look at whoever.
Okay, let's do that though
right.
for a second. Let's do that and we'll focus primarily on maybe the three rooms that we've had discussed the most.
Sure.
The running back room, the tight end room,
right,
and the inside linebacker room, right? And you want to throw a wide receiver in there maybe as well on the back end. In the running back room, would the Broncos running back room be better in 2026 than it was in 2025 with the addition of Travis Etienne?
Yes.
Yes.
ETN.
Well, it's Achan.
I know. I know.
Yeah.
You went to Achan.
Yeah.
I was like shocked. I was like, wow, good for you.
Not Devon Achan.
Yeah, now that he's in New Orleans, he is. He's no longer ETN.
Yes.
He is now Achan.
Gree. Yeah, a lot of lanyap.
Yeah, a lot. So from a answer the bell perspective, yes.
Okay.
Right? Like, is that guy more likely to line up for 17 games than J.K. Dobbins? And the answer to that is it's unquestioned. Yes. Now the issue becomes, like, if you know what I know, like, that was a guy they were looking to replace last year. That was a guy
Bichelle Tootin.
Yeah, with Bichelle
Bichelle Tootin.
Yeah,
right?
Tootin, right.
Tootin, yeah.
So thank you. So they were looking to replace him. And so, like, he just, and to his credit, man, he stepped up and he played exceptionally well all season long. So they were able to trade somebody else out to the Bigsby out to Philly, and Bichelle Tootin was a guy that they really liked, and they also had a kid, LeQuint Allen, I believe, that was another rookie that they really liked that played a lot on third down as well. So is it a complete upgrade in talent over J.K. Dobbins? No. I think those guys are pretty much, like, they're pretty
but health.
Close. But health is a huge upgrade. Right.
Okay.
And that's where we were really looking at the Broncos running back room saying we need better players.
Breece Hall probably factors into that category as well. So that would be a upgrade in the running back room, right?
100%.
Breece Hall is a stud. But even if you take the two big dogs like that out, I find it hard to believe, Mark, that this running back room for the Broncos wouldn't be better if you had J.K. Dobbins and R.J. Harvey, who were clearly coming back, and you add in Tyler Algier, or you add in Rico Dowdle. And however they slot in responsibility-wise, it doesn't matter to me all that much because you're talking about as a collective room and as a whole with your chess pieces to be able to trot out there week to week. I just think the running back room would be better. And so when they don't take a swing at any of those guys, when they do the whole, like, GM, especially like George Payton, of like, oh, we're in on every deal, or we've got interest in XYZ, which they did with ATN. They didn't with Tyler Algier. Doesn't sound like they did with Rico Dowdle. When they're not only not in on it, but then their responsive move is to say, hey, we're just going to run it back with Jaleel and Tyler Bidet in a room that we hammered for 17 weeks that wasn't good enough. I just struggle to find the chess versus checkers 4D logic there.
On that, I'm 100% with you. I'm 100% with you. I just think that room, love J.K. Dobbins. I just don't like the fact that, he's available 8 games a year. I really like R.J. Harvey, but I don't think he's a first and second down base running back. I don't. I think he's more of a third down guy. Now, that doesn't mean he can't become that, but I just don't think so. And frankly, and not personal, but I've never been a big Jaleel McLaughlin fan, and I'm not a big Tyler Bidet fan. So I just think you certainly could have upgraded that room significantly in free agency. And I am an Algier fan, and they're not. And that's fine. They don't have to be. But I still look at the guys that were out there and said you could have significantly upgraded that room, and I think you probably should have.
All right, I want to go through the rest of these position groups here, but first we'll get to those in a little bit. But right now, let's get to 4-down territory.
Welcome to 4-Down Territory, where Stokley and Evans with Mark Schlereth keep you up to date on the latest buzz from around the Denver sports scene and beyond. Kicking it off with First Down.
Miller's 8th pitch to Perdomo. It is on with the championship! The United States takes down the powerhouse that is the Dominican Republic. 2-1 the final score.
Paul Skeens, Aaron Judge, Team USA take down the powerhouse, the death lineup that was the Dominican Republic. To advance to the WBC final, they will await the winner of Venezuela, who knocked out Japan. So no Shohei Ohtani in the final there. They will wait the winner of Venezuela and Italy. Mark, has Team USA, in your eyes, absolved themselves or successfully moved past the fact that going into that quarterfinal game against Italy, they didn't realize they hadn't already clinched, and they could have potentially cost themselves a spot in the final? Have they overcome that by beating the vaunted Dominican Republic team?
Yeah, and obviously, there's an old saying in baseball, like you're only as good as your next day's pitcher, and pitching will defeat. Great pitching defeats great hitting. And that's what you saw with Team USA. Skeens is a freak show. Skeens is just unbelievable. To have that kind of unmitigated power, to be able to, just throw it up there to 102, and then to have the off-speed stuff and the breaking stuff that he has and the command that he has. That dude is a generational talent, and you just hope he stays healthy throughout the rest of his career, because he is, for me, as a guy who loves baseball and had a son that, I coached and grew up to play in the major leagues, and that was a pitcher, I love to watch great pitchers operate. And that dude is must-see television. He's just a freak show.
Yeah, for me, Paul Skeens, I said it earlier, I'll say it again. You just talk about guys that have life by the balls. Paul Skeens is 23 years old, and he's literally and figuratively right now on top of the world. He's a generational talent on the mound. He's got a celebrity girlfriend that's like the ogle of every single college kid in America. He was a starter in the MLB All-Star game as a rookie.
Right.
And he's just the future, the runway ahead of him couldn't really be any longer or brighter. He's of that ilk, Mark, that for me, my biggest hope for him is that he gets the hell out of Pittsburgh.
Well, he will.
Yeah.
That's what Pittsburgh is.
Just like Shohei and the Angels.
Right. The Pittsburgh Pirates are essentially a feeder team for the Yankees.
That's true.
Is what they are. So, he'll pitch in Pittsburgh for a while and light it all up, and then he'll sign, $1 billion. He may be the first $1 billion player.
Oh.
Think about that.
Which we kind of thought would be Shohei. He got to like $700 million.
Yeah.
But not quite.
But he'll be the first $1 billion player, and he'll sign a 10-year $1 billion deal for the Yankees when that time comes.
Think about that for a second. That because you just reminded me the Shohei contract, the whole concept of the deferred money, right? That like Shohei's going to make $2 million a year for 10 years with the Dodgers, and then at the completion of his contract, he's going to get cut a check for $680 million. It's going to be like that Bobby Bonilla type of thing, I would imagine, because there's no way they pay that out in one or a couple of large installments like that. Just, I can't even fathom what that would look like. I'm not that far removed from a point in my life, Mark, where my checking account had enough in it that if I bought a couple of pizzas for the boys at the apartment, that I would be like, okay, wait, do I need to transfer some money here before I do this?
Right.
Do I need to, am I sure I'm not going to need Venmos before we get there? But anyways, yeah, congratulations to Team USA advancing to the final. I think you've absolved yourself of the debacle that the manager not knowing what the standings look like or how it worked. But now you got to close the deal and take care of business.
Second down.
In the least shocking news ever, Mark, Joel Embiid, who, as you know, plays for the Philadelphia 76ers.
Sure.
He's going to miss some more time.
Oh,
soft.
Son of a gun.
We have now reached a point. Think about this. And as someone who in their professional career played injured for basically all of it, and had to fight their way to be back on the field a number of ways, Joel Embiid, as a professional basketball player, has now missed as many games as he has played.
Take that for data.
485 games played, 485 games missed, and as the little cherry on top, it looks like he's going to miss this upcoming game against the Nuggets, meaning he will duck Nikola Jokic once again. He has not played in Denver since 2019.
Right.
Unbelievable, man.
He never plays. He only plays if he's playing the Nuggets. He only plays in Philly. He never plays in Denver. And the whole I don't know, fascination with this guy. I watch, and I know that Nikola Jokic isn't the most talented athlete, but man, watching him play and how hard he plays, obviously court awareness and all that stuff, but I don't think he gets enough credit for how hard he plays, his defense, like his hands, his ability to steal the ball, his hand-eye coordination, his understanding of, poke checking the ball out and doing all that stuff that he does. He's been fun, really fun to watch, and that dude is passionate about playing the game of basketball. He does it the right way, and like I said, he's not a what I would call a gifted NBA athlete. I mean,
Sure.
he's an incredible athlete. There's no question, but
there's also a cerebralness to
yeah.
it. It's not
But
directly athletic.
But he plays like Saturday night, man. I'm just watching him, and he doesn't get many breaks, and he just goes. I mean, he is going hard. I just have so much respect for his game and the way he approaches his career.
Yeah, listen, man. Philly fans can say whatever they want, and I guess they'll get to go down saying that their guy won an MVP, the most fraudulent MVP in NBA history. For me, that Embiid got that over Jokic that year and prevented him from going, what was it, 4? It would have been 4 straight, now. So that's great. You'll always hold on to that. But, man, I'm running out of ways if I'm a 76ers fan to hold my head high when it comes to Joel Embiid.
Third down.
How about Team USA, specifically on the ice in hockey? We obviously saw the women took care of business first, beating Canada to earn the gold medal against Team Canada. The men followed it up with one of the more exciting gold medal games in Team USA, Team Canada matchups. And then in the Paralympics in Milan, Team USA beats Team Canada in the gold medal game again. That is a hat trick, a golden hat trick of Team USA versus Team Canada, and Team USA sweeps it 3-0. I can't remember the last time that's happened with two countries going against each other in 3 different iterations of the same sport Olympically and going gold, gold, gold.
Yeah, I would have no idea on that, but really cool stuff. And obviously, Canada is, when you talk about hockey, Team Canada is the dominant team, and to watch our boys do what they did, to watch our women's team do what they did, that was really exciting. I didn't watch the Paralympics, but amazing accomplishment for Team USA.
Yeah, just further evidence that whether you like it or not, the United States owns Canada.
Yeah,
and that's not going to change anytime soon.
We're no longer sneaking up on them.
We are front and center. All right, we're going to punt here on third down. Coming up next, we'll reset the headlines of the morning. Broncos free agency. Is there any pulse? Is there any hope of life? The Nuggets, how are we feeling after that loss to the Lakers? And the Avalanche, is the conversation about Mackenzie Blackwood and Scott Wedgwood coming to a head, or is there a little bit of recency bias leaning us one way or the other? All of that coming your way next.
Stream Stokley and Evans with Mark Schlereth, Dover and Cecil, The Drive, and all your favorite shows on the Denver Sports 104.3 The Fan app. Powered by Advanced Tax Solutions. Denver Sports 104.3 The Fan.
If you're in a neighborhood with houses built in the 80s, 90s, even 2000s, so-called custom homes, maybe the builder spent good money on windows. More than likely, they were provided by the lowest bidder. Bluebird is a local company serving Colorado since 2006, featuring over 40 years of experience. Get to know Bluebird Windows with this special offer. Buy one window, get another 50% off through March 31st. And then mention my name and get an additional 5% off. Call 303-810-2888 and at gobluebirdco.com. Bluebird Windows, where your window replacement experience is second to none.
At Uline, they know going the extra mile takes hard work. For companies pushing to go further, Uline will go the distance with you. 24/7, they answer the phone to get you the shipping and industrial supplies you need. Business can move fast. Unexpected large orders, adverse weather, new safety guidelines, and changing economic trends. Uline works hard keeping 41,000 items ready to ship, minimizing detours on your way to the extra mile. Visit uline.com.
Cashback is not available on gas in New Jersey and Wisconsin.
Couponing. Wow, you didn't strike me as the coupon type.
Just trying to stay ahead of inflation. Gas, groceries, everything. It's all more expensive. I need to save wherever I can.
Have you tried Upside yet?
Upside? What's that?
It's a free app that I use that pays cash back for every gallon of gas I buy. You've got to buy gas to get around anyway. Might as well get paid for it.
Come on, does that really add up to anything?
I've already made around $200. The extra cash helped pay down my bills, and I even had a little extra left to treat treat myself.
And the Upside app is free?
Totally free, and the cash back is real. You can transfer the cash right to your bank account.
I'm downloading Upside right now.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code ENJOY to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, to PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code ENJOY for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code ENJOY for a 25 cents per gallon bonus.
Dental phobia? Consider sedation dentistry with Clarkson Dental. Their highly trained team will lead you through an exceptional dental experience from that first fearful call all the way through to aftercare. Call the most experienced sedation dentist and staff. Clarkson Dental, coloradosedation.com.
Low testosterone can be a real problem for many men. It causes poor sleep patterns, decreased energy, low sex drive, and it makes it really hard to stay in shape. And as we all know, a healthy body is very important to our overall health and well-being. This is Jeff for the Rocky Mountain Men's Clinic, and if some or all of these symptoms sound like you, we can likely help you be done with low T. We can also help you lose weight, support your metabolism, improve your gains in the gym, and more with our new targeted body composition plans featuring GH peptides, NAD+, GLP-1s, PDA, and more. Our low T protocols, applied in conjunction with our body composition plans, will help most men see real improvements, true weight loss, higher energy, improved sleep, stronger workouts, and a renewed sex drive as well. Your initial visit is just $99 and includes blood work and a medical consult. And if you start on treatment the same day, your visit is free. Call 720-440-7900 or go to RockyMountainMen'sClinic.com.
Featured therapies are compounded and have not been evaluated nor approved by the FDA. Provider prescription required. See website for details.
Hi, I'm Terrell Davis, two-time world champion and Pro Football Hall of Famer. There is nothing more important than your health. That's why I made the smart move to invest in fitness equipment with Fitness Gallery. It's a game changer.
Score big, save 25% off all primetime functional trainers, home gyms, and racks. Work out on your schedule on the equipment you choose from the safety and comfort of your own home. Save up to 50% off on select premium equipment. Visit one of Fitness Gallery's 7 convenient locations from Colorado Springs to Fort Collins.
If you've been injured in an auto accident, Dr. Joseph Ramos is both a doctor and a lawyer, combining legal and medical expertise. He can help. Ramos Law, the official injury law firm partner of the Denver Broncos. RamosLaw.com.
You know what it takes to win: the preparation, the game plan, the refusal to quit when things get hard. You bring that same mentality to your business every single day. But even the best teams need fans in the seats. At Denver Sports, we put your business in front of Denver's most passionate, loyal audience, on air, online, and on the big screen. You've got the drive, we've got the reach. Visit us online at DenverSports.com. Let's build your roster.
This segment on 104.3 The Fan is brought to you by ROX Rocks Heating and Air.
Stream Stokley and Evans with Mark Schlereth, Dover and Cecil, The Drive, and all your favorite shows on the Denver Sports 104.3 The Fan app. Powered by Advanced Tax Solutions. Denver Sports 104.3 The Fan. KKFN and KKFN HD1 Longmont, Denver. Powered by Able Builders, it's Stokley and Evans with Mark Schlereth. Self-appointed nicknames.
Obviously, I am the hockey guy at this station.
Grammar lessons.
High fives and Famma Jamma.
And Oscar-worthy impressions.
My version was, get off my plane. Okay. Yours was,
get off my plane. It's Stokley and Evans with Mark Schlereth on Denver Sports 104.3 The Fan.
Eight o'clock. Happy Monday morning to you all. Welcome to all the 8 a.m. texters, right? This is the second wave, Mark Schlereth, of texters here on Stokley and Evans with Mark Schlereth. Richie Carney sitting in for Mike Evans alongside, as I quoted him earlier, the undisputed, unchallenged, unquestioned, hardest working man in Denver radio, Mark Schlereth.
Correct.
Mark, I want to circle back to some of the Broncos discussion we were having last segment about position groups for the Broncos and really just an overarching thought process about their approach to free agency thus far. But we were kind of going through a handful of position groups talking about, okay, they didn't go out and get anybody, which means they like who they have and they feel comfortable about it, and or there's a move coming we don't know about, which is possible, and I think a lot of people are still holding that candle. But the prospect of saying, hey, well, the Broncos went 14-3. They have a really good team, so why wouldn't they want to just run it back and bring all their guys back? I think that that's, fair to bring up, but as we did with the running back room, I think when you put it together and you say, okay, so you're telling me the exact same running back room we had last year wouldn't be better if instead of Jaleel or Tyler Bidet or maybe even J.K. Dobbins, you had Tyler Algier, you had Travis Etienne, Achan, you had Breece Hall, you had, whoever, this Breece Hall, exactly. I think that's false. And I don't think that sentiment is true when you look at the other position groups of need as well. Because you can look at the tight end room, which I think was as if not more frustrating than the running back room, especially after J.K. Dobbins went down. You can't tell me that there wasn't an addition at tight end that they could have made, and probably one for reasonable, price, because we, free agency, money and all that could have made this room better, Mark. You just can't tell me.
Yeah, well, the thing that I've said about the tight end room is there's nobody who gives you that. There's no guy that gives you a dual threat potential. So there's not a guy in there that you like, hey, man, that guy's a really good run blocker and he's a really good route runner. And so there's nobody that provides that kind of true Y type of tight end that, the difference between the Y and the F is the motion guy and the split out guy and whatever. But there's not that one guy that really is that dual threat, that versatile guy that you have. And so it's really hard in the passing game to make somebody question what you're doing. You just basically know. You play the odds, you play the percentages, and you say, hey, man, if Troutman's in there, they're running the ball. If Ingram's in there, they're throwing the ball. And, it basically is how it works. And let me just tell you this, as you kind of look through the tight ends coming out in the draft, this is a problem. This is a problem that's, I think, endemic in the tight end position in general, where a lot of these guys have become such weapons in the passing game that, guys like Mike Evans who say, hey, I don't need a guy to block. I just want a guy to catch the ball. Well, that's what we're getting now. That's what's coming out of college. And so you're either or in the college game. Based on all the things that I study, is you're either a Y, you're either a blocker, and you'll run a spot route or whatever, but you're going to get, your, over the course of your college season, you're going to get your 35 catches or whatever, and, it's not going to be big. Or you're that F guy who's not going to block anybody. You're just going to motion around. You're going to be in the slot, and you're going to, that's what you do. And there's very few guys coming out, or even guys in the NFL, that are efficient players in both.
So if that's the case, and the Broncos don't have the opportunity to, or make a strong enough case to bring in the likes of a Cade Otton and Isaiah Likely, a Dallas Goedert, they bring back Evan Ingram, and they bring back every member of the tight end room, from the Lucas Krolls to the Adam Troutmans and the Nate Atkinses. Where do they go from here then, Mark? Because in free agency, that we're on like the fourth wave at this point.
Right.
That well has dried up. So all eyes are going to turn toward the draft, and they're going to turn that way for every position group basically to add, including running back and probably inside linebacker, who they did bring back some of their own guys. So at the tight end position specifically, Mark, where do they go from here because they didn't do anything up to this point in free agency?
Yeah, I think the way I've looked at this, and I've looked at right now, I've looked at, I think, let me look at this really quick. Hold on, let me turn back.
Feverish notes, by the way, I can see from across the table.
I've got notes all over the place here.
Different colored pens.
So I have looked at 5 tight ends.
Okay.
3 games of 5 different tight ends in this draft. And so far, there is one guy that has the versatility to do both. To be a threat in the passing game, to line up in the slot, to run the seams, to the deep overs, a guy that can get open and shake you loose at the top of the route and really run. And that's the guy from Oregon. That is Sadiq. And then every other guy that I've looked at is either or. So he's either an F or he's a Y. And there's really only one guy that's truly a Y, and that's Sam Roush from Stanford. And
Articulate
the rest of the guys,
difference real quick between an F and a Y tight end.
Y is on the line of scrimmage. Next to the tackle is a blocking guy, a guy that you can run, front side, back side, can lock up with a defensive end. But
so when I hear Spider 2Y banana, we're talking about an on the line of scrimmage tight end,
right?
Running a banana route.
You're running the flat essentially.
Yeah.
So, thank you. So that's kind of the why. The F is more the guy that you send in motion and you do a lot of things from a man zone perspective, trying to figure out what they're in.
Like an Evan Ingram,
right? Like you guy that you'll split out. Yes, like an Evan Ingram. And so a guy that's usually in the run game, he may you'd split him out and not get him involved in the run game, or he's pinning the end of the line of scrimmage. You're trying to get outside, instantly. Or he's on the backside, you're running weak, for instance, and he's lined up on line of scrimmage. He's just a cutoff guy, so you don't have to put him at the point of attack. He's a guy that lines up usually away from the point of attack, or he's a guy that's sifting through to the second level, like as two tight ends, you lock up two tight ends. He's not the guy kind of on the line of scrimmage, but he's the one that helps and then bounces up to the second level to go get a safety. That's what your F usually does. Okay. And so in this college class, it's either or. There's only one guy that has, to me, and again, studying 3 games of each guy, that has an ability to play, to do both well. And that guy can be very versatile because, again, if you get into these heavier formations, that guy is you think and run, and all of a sudden he splits out and he can, eviscerate you in the passing game. That's a very valuable thing to have. And there's really only one guy in this draft, and it's Sadiq. And I just don't think you're going to have or give up the capital to go get him. They rate him as, he's going to go in the 20s, but I think he'll go between 10 and 15, somewhere in that range.
I heard you guys talk about it a while back, and I don't disagree with you. I think there's a very real world, and you never know because trades are going to happen. More signings, are going to be finalized, especially because you have that post-June 1st designation that's going to create another wave of moves, guys waiting to trade until it's post-June 1 for cap reasons, which I think is what's going to happen with A.J. Brown, by the way, who's still been kind of rumored out there as a trade target. There's a real world I see that Kenyon Sadiq doesn't make it out of the top 10 because the Chiefs are picking at 8. And they got a tight end in Travis Kelce that's on his way out the door. They took care of running back, which was their big position of need by signing Kenneth Walker. And I think that's a perfect opportunity to reload weapons around Patrick Mahomes and try to, kickstart this dynasty back up to levels that we saw about a half decade or so ago.
Yeah, that wouldn't surprise me either. The other thing that's gonna make him a more coveted asset, if you will, as people start studying him and stuff. And like I said, the duality that he has, both as a blocker and a pass catcher and stuff, it's unique in this particular draft. It's unique. Like, he's the only one that I've studied. I'm sure there's some guys that I haven't studied, that are going to be later round draft choices that can do both of those things, maybe played at a smaller school or whatever. But that's kind of unique in this draft, Richie, for Sadiq. So I think that increases the value. The other thing that happens in this particular draft is there's really only 2 first-round quarterbacks. So there's not a lot of guys that are getting pushed up into the first round to help a guy like Sadiq fall a little bit.
Yeah, so you got Ty Simpson and Fernando Mendoza, right?
Right.
Those are your 2.
And so if there's not a rush to go get quarterbacks, like in the draft that Bo Nix was in, there were 6 guys that all got pushed to the top 12 of the draft. And frankly, there's probably a couple of those guys that were ranked as, or rated as second-round guys, whether Penix was or not, because of his injury history. Bo Nix, on a lot of people's draft boards, was a second-round guy. You can look at all those guys. J.J. McCarthy, who didn't have a lot of experience, only played a little bit at Michigan.
Boo.
Yeah, so, but they all get pushed up in the top 12 picks. That means really good players get pushed back.
Right.
And so there's not that dynamic in this draft for a guy like Kenyon Sadiq to get pushed back to where you look at it and go, shoot, he's going to be available at 20. Should we move up from 30 to 20? Like, that's a reasonable thing to do. But when you start going, hey, we got to move up from 30 to 12.
Right.
That's just like a lot of teams just don't want to spend that capital.
All right, well, help me out here, Mark, because I got to be honest. I'm looking for a lifeline. I'm looking for a light at the end of the tunnel. This Broncos free agency has gone so far the complete opposite way that I thought. Now, don't get me wrong. I know they loaded up last offseason. You brought in Hufanga, Greenlaw, Engram, J.K. Dobbins, right? Like, you brought in some names that kind of made us go, okay, they're coming off of a wild card berth where they got their doors kicked in by the Buffalo Bills saying, hey, we got a quarterback on a rookie contract. We think this is our guy. That playoff appearance was just the beginning, and we're loading up. And they respond by going 14-3. So even though I don't love the approach of taking your foot off the gas, I can understand if maybe you don't bring in 4 or 5 splashy names, to kind of keep that wheel moving. But I would have expected 1 or 2 outside the organization to kind of do it, but they haven't done that. So give me, specifically with the tight end position, because that's where we're going. Give me a name. Give me somebody that's out there that's not Kenyon Sadiq, who's probably out of reach or at a minimum is going to cost a king's ransom to move up and get. Give me somebody that I can point to in the draft where the Broncos are going to have to do a lot of work to add to the roster with the holes that they have, that could be a good weapon that could help utilize help Bo Nix utilize a little bit more.
I think the guy out of all the tight ends, and again, I've watched another 4 of them that weren't named Kenyon Sadiq. Of all the guys that I like, the guy I liked the best overall that I thought had the most versatility is Eli Stowers out of Vanderbilt.
Okay.
Now he to me is an F. Like, he's a movement guy, he's a split out guy. That's who he is. But he's a willing participant in the running game. He's got a decent stance when he does line up on the line of scrimmage. He's got a good stance. He does good steps. He's got good takeoff. And he's a willing participant. He wants to put his nose in there. And so that's a guy that I look at and say, okay, could you get some versatility? Could you get some duality out of his game? And the answer to me is yes, you could. And so that's a guy that I thought probably coming out of this draft is a dude that I kind of liked from that perspective. The other guy I liked who's truly just a Y. And, he's going to be a dude that's just going to line up and play a little smash mouth football. But when he does catch the ball, he's not getting separation. But when he does catch the ball, he squares his shoulders and he tries to go hump people up. And that is the kid out of Stanford, Sam Roush. And he's like 6'5", 270. He's a big old son of a gun, but really good.
270.
Yeah, he's really good on the line of scrimmage. Is willing, like I said, willing participant. He's big. He's strong. He's really good at the point of attack in the running game. So if you're just going, hey, man, we're going to get ourselves a true Y. The other thing I think you have to understand about college football that's different, what is wide open in the NFL is completely covered in college.
Yep.
So this guy is not going to get a lot of separation. And so in college, he doesn't get thrown the ball all that much because there's not a lot of separation there. But he's got that big box out body, like he's 6'5", 267, I think is what they listed him at. And he runs probably in the 4.7s, mid 4.7s or whatever. So he's not going to run away from people, but he's got that big body that you go, hey man, this in the NFL is wide open. So maybe he could be a little bit more of a threat in the passing game. One thing I did love about him, as soon as he caught the ball like over the middle on spot routes or whatever, he turns his shoulders immediately and starts gaining ground upfield. So he does some things well, but he's really, I think his strength is in the run game. And so if you're just looking for like a true Y, and that's what you think you need, then he would be a guy that would be on my, that would be on my wish list, not in the first round, obviously, but in the second or third round.
Would you lean more toward the addition of a Y tight end, given the fact that
No.
they have Evan Ingram, or you think we need to just replace Evan Ingram? We need to get some receiving weapons available for Bo Nix.
I think they need somebody. Again that can exploit the middle of the football field, and they've got Atkins, they've got Troutman, they've got their kind of quote unquote Y guys, if you will. I just think that I would be more inclined to go after a pass catching type of tight end.
Well, I'll tell you what, I'm doing. I did just a little bit of searching as you were laying it out on Eli Stowers, and I got to say, on paper, sign me the hell up, man. He has a 45.5-inch vertical, second highest regardless of position since 2003, setting a record for tight ends.
Yeah.
We talked about Kenyon Sadiq having this mind-blowing, record-breaking combine performance. He tested in the 99th percentile, did Eli Stowers, in broad jump. He ran a 4.51 40, second fastest amongst tight ends, and scored north of the 70th percentile in speed. So for a guy that took all of that and then on the football field turned it into a 60-catch, 770-yard season with 4 touchdowns, sign me up for that. The only thing that makes me kind of like comically not nervous but kind of notice it is his pro comp is Evan Ingram. That's who he's comped to.
You know what's funny about that? That's exactly when I looked at him. That's exactly what I thought. I tell you, the other guy, Max Schlereth. So Max Schlereth is a guy out of Ohio State, and he is probably, from a dual perspective, he's probably kind of the closest mix between a Y and an F. Reminded me a little bit of Dalton Schultz from the Houston Texans, just body type wise and stuff, and is a willing participant. Does some things in the blocking game that are pretty good and all that kind of stuff. He just is not. He's just not like. There's not a lot of explosiveness in his route running ability. I think he's a low 4.78 guy or whatever. So there's not like a lot of, man, he's just going to outrun. Like nothing that looked real explosive in the passing game. Like just not running away from people. But I think he's a pretty good player, and so he's probably the one guy that has a little bit more of a, like, outside of Eli Stowers. I think Claire probably has the most kind of mixture of YF. Stowers is more of an F for sure, but at least he was willing to put his nose in there on some stuff.
On the RamosLaw.com text line 303-713-1043, Troutman, Kroll, Ingram, and don't we also have a project tight end on the practice squad, which we do, Caleb Lohner. The Broncos seem like they're content and set on tight end. They're not going to carry 4 or 5. The 2025 Broncos didn't try hard enough to use the tight end position. Why would they do it in 2026? Mark, what say you?
Explain yourself.
I just think that, I don't know how they feel about Lohner. And, Sean historically has done this with, his guys. I mean, Jawan Johnson is a guy that was a college basketball player, a wide receiver in college. And I don't know if he played college. I think he played college basketball, but he was a basketball player, played wide receiver in college, transitioned to the tight end position. Oh, gosh, what's the cat's name escaping me? The quarterback / special teams guy.
Hill?
Yeah, Taysom Hill. So he has always had that kind of project guy on his roster that he likes, and I guess this tight end kid that was a basketball player is that guy for them. What do they think they're going to get out of him in year 2? I have no idea, Lohner, but again, that's a position I'd like to see them address in the draft. They didn't address it in free agency except with their own guys. So
they didn't address any position in free agency really except for their own guys. So where then would you, Mark, expect to slot it out when you're talking about tight end, running back? You could throw wide receiver or maybe inside linebacker in there. Maybe there's interior defensive line or pass rush, factored in somewhere. Cornerback, just positions you can't really have enough depth in. How would you power rank in your own mind the positions of need for the Broncos in the draft? Because they're going to have to use basically every pick to try to shore up the things they didn't do in free agency.
Yeah, I think that they've got to get a running back.
That'd be your number one?
Yeah, I think that would probably be my number one, is they got to get a running back. I think number 2 is probably a tight end. And again, it's, from everything I hear and everything I read, it's fairly light tight end class. So I think running back, and I'm talking about a true first and second down, run between the tackles type of running back. Now, that doesn't mean that you take that guy in the first round or in the second round, because a lot of those guys are out there in the third, fourth, and fifth round. But it does mean you got to find one.
Right.
Right. And that, to me, is a priority. Tight end becomes a priority just because I think the guys you have are one-dimensional guys. All of them are. And so I'd like to see some versatility there. I think you've got to get depth at the inside linebacker position. And I think you've got to get depth on your you've got to get a rotational defensive lineman as well, because you lost John Franklin Myers. So, I think those to me are probably your priorities coming out of this draft.
Yeah, it's going to be fascinating to see how they kind of approach this, because I got to be honest, it does feel a little bit to me like a missed opportunity. And I don't care what people say on the RamosLaw.com text line or on our YouTube stream at DenverSports1043 saying, oh, yeah, the first thing the Broncos should do is go out there and overpay for average talent in free agency when they just had a roster that went 14-3 on its own. Miss me with that, because every team, every year in the NFL utilizes the free agency period to be able to try to move forward, addressing the needs and the roster